Okay, got that resolved. Thanks everyone for bearing with us. So as I was saying, I'm going to introduce my fellow board members to you. I will go through a little bit of housekeeping about how today's meeting will work, and then we'll get started hearing from all of you. So with us today, we have board member Anthony Cooper Sr., who is the CEO of Focused Interruption, an organization dedicated to interrupting the devastating cycle of violence with the help of the community. Anthony received a pardon from Governor Evers in January of 2021. We have board member Judge Jeffrey Kremers, who is AG Call's appointee to this board. Judge Kremers served as a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge for 26 years, including as chief judge for 7 of those years before retiring in 2018. And we have board member Cindy O'Donnell, who served as the deputy secretary for the Department of Corrections under Governors Thompson, McCallum, and Doyle. She also served as division administrator under Attorneys General Lautenschlager and Van Hollen. We have board member Myrna Warrington, who is the Director of Vocational Rehabilitation on the Menominee Indian Reservation. She is a U.S. Army veteran and has been a member of the Menominee Tribal Legislature for over 15 years. And finally, we have board member Professor Eric Liberator, who teaches paralegal students from around the world in the University of Cincinnati's online program. He previously served as a supervising attorney at Disability Rights Wisconsin and in the governor's office. So just a couple of housekeeping notes from me before we dive in. First, please keep in mind that today's hearing is being live streamed. For that reason, we'll ask you to keep yourself on mute and your camera off until it is your turn to be heard by the board. That will allow us to focus on the person who's presenting and make sure we have good audio quality. If you do run into any IT issues with the Zoom, don't worry about it. Someone from staff will reach out and help you try to troubleshoot. If it means we need to come back to you because Zoom isn't cooperating, we can certainly do that. Otherwise, we are going to call on folks in the order listed in the agenda and open meeting notice, and each applicant will have about 5 minutes total with the board. We're going to ask you to spend the first 3 of those 5 minutes speaking to the questions that we sent you in advance of today's hearing. As a reminder, those are to please give us a brief summary of the offense that you're seeking a pardon for and how your sentence went. We're not here to retry the crime. You don't need to minimize your involvement. We just want to hear from you in your own words what happened. Second, to give us a brief summary of what you've done since the completion of your sentence, community involvement, employment, essentially where you're at now and how your life is different than the time of the offense. And third and finally, a brief statement about why you're seeking a pardon and why you think the governor should grant you one. Once you've spent about 3 minutes speaking to those questions, we'll open it up to any follow-up questions that the board may have for you. Don't read too much into it either way if we do or don't have questions for you. We've spent quite a bit of time with your application materials before we even get to today's hearing, and as you know, those are quite detailed. But if we do have follow-up questions, we want to make sure we can get to those and leave time for that so that we can make a thorough recommendation to the governor. Once you're done answering any additional questions we have for you, you're welcome to sign off the Zoom. You don't need to stay in the hearing. And once everyone's been heard, the board will meet in closed session and decide whether or not to recommend your application to the governor for a pardon. You need a majority support of board members present in order for your application to be forwarded to Governor Evers, who will then make the final decision as to whether or not to grant you a pardon. Either way, you'll hear about the outcome of today's hearing about 1 to 2 months from today. So we know you've been patient just to get to today. We thank you for giving us a little bit more time to make those recommendations to the governor. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with our first applicant of the morning session, which is Jason Beranek. Mr. Beranek? Mr. Beranek, I see you in the Zoom, but if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can. We can't see you quite yet.
This is my first Zoom thing, so I'm trying to, oh, wait a minute. Oh, here we are.
Perfect.
Can you hear me all right?
We can.
Okay, my name's Jason Beranek. In 1997, I was convicted of party to the crime of burglary, and I was sentenced to 2 years probation. Since then, I've been married for 25 years, helped raise 4 stepkids and soon to be 12 grandkids. I did factory work until 2008, where I learned a trade and have been self-employed as a subcontractor since then. I attend any classes I possibly can or demonstrations offered to better myself in my field. I am asking for a pardon because I miss out on a bunch of jobs in my field due to my criminal record, and also it's difficult, if not impossible, to get bonded for jobs. Excuse me. Bonded for jobs due to a felony on my record. I've stayed out of trouble other than a traffic ticket in almost 30 years. My goal by getting a pardon is to be able to get more work so I can hire someone to be able to teach them my trade. Also, to help myself financially. I know what I did was wrong and I apologize for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beranek. Questions, Judge Gremmers?
Yeah, could you talk about the crime you committed? What happened? What did you do?
I was at a friend's house and my brother and one of his friends came over there after they had broken into a business, and they don't have a driver's license. I gave them a ride home. So that's what got me party to the crime, because I gave them a ride home after the fact.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Cindy?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Beranek. The judge from Marathon County who reviewed your case supports your application for a pardon. Now, Governor Evers will make the final decision, but what does that support mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, this is, other than work and helping me financially, this has been something that's weighing on my shoulders ever since it happened. And it's just, it would mean the world to me to have forgiveness for that, because it has been, it's the only thing that is a big regret in my life, and it would mean a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you, Mr. Beranek. I think that covers it from us then. I appreciate your time and I hope you enjoy your day.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Antonio Knox-Deal. Mr. Knox-Deal.
Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Antonio Knox-Deal, and I sit before you today respectfully requesting a pardon for the offenses I committed on June 4th, 2015. Those offenses include party to a crime, escape criminal arrest, possession of THC, first degree reckless and endangering safety, resisting or obstruction an officer, and which those offenses resulted me in getting a bail jump from a different charge. I want to begin by taking full responsibility for my actions. At the time in my life, I made poor decisions that put others at risk and set my life in the wrong direction. I deeply regret those choices. I understand the seriousness of my offenses, and I accept the consequences that followed. Since then, I have made a commitment and consistent effort to change my life. One of my proudest accomplishments is gaining custody of my three oldest children, Zafira, Lazarius, and Zariah. Being a father has given me purpose and accountability, and it drives me every day to be a better father. I returned to school and earned my HSED. After that, I became a certified nursing assistant and even pursued further education in nursing before realizing my true passion lies in carpentry. For the past year, I have been working in carpentry and building my skills with the goals of joining a carpentry union and growing my career in the trade, eventually becoming a journeyman to then becoming a contractor. With this goal, I wish to create many housings for the unfortunate people who can use the help. Outside of work, I focus on giving back to my community. Some may even call it giving back to the planet. My children and I spend time picking up trash in our neighborhoods and throughout Milwaukee. I make it a point to do positive things whenever I can because I want to lead by example, not just for my kids, but for others around me in the future. I hope to start a nonprofit organization to help residents in my state. I stay out of trouble by staying focused on my children, my work, and building a stable future. My life today is structured, responsible, and centered around growth. I'm seeking a pardon because I have served my time and worked hard to become a better person. However, this conviction continues to limit my opportunities. It affects my ability to secure employment and pursue the career paths I am capable of achieving. I also hope to have the opportunity to serve my country by joining the Air Force or military if that path still is available to me. More than anything, I want the chance to fully move forward. I want to provide a better life for my children and create opportunities for them that I did not have. A partner would not erase my past, but it would recognize the work I've done to change and allow me to keep building a better future. So, with all that said, I wish for Milwaukee, the city I love dearly, to give me a pardon so I can give more of myself back to my city. Thanks for your time, your consideration, and opportunity to speak before you today. I don't know what happened to my paper, but what happened in my case, my children's mother was she was incarcerated at somewhere in Racine. I went out there to hoping, I thought I was going out there to pick her up because she told me she had a pass to get out. So a day pass to get out to get released for the day or whatever. So I go up there, I pick her up. Um, she gets in the car, and we're driving, and she tells me that we start arguing, and she tells me that she's actually was, I guess, breaking out of jail. So in the midst of us arguing and stuff, I end up running the red light, which got me in reckless endangerment. Well, I was charged with reckless endangerment because I ended up running the red light. Then I pulled over once the sheriff put the lights on, I pulled over. Um, the other person that was with me, my children's mother that was with me, that broke out, she get out the car and run off. I sit there, and once I realized that the sheriff had caught her, I guess the fear in me, the like just being scared, not even knowing like what city I'm in or county I'm in, any of that, it just my mind just went to like just want to get back home and just get to my kids and stuff. So I made the mistake of pulling off out of fear, and then down the road I got roadblocked. Got out. They arrested me, took me down to Racine County Station. They questioned me. I was cooperative. I told them everything that I knew. And from there on, I did my time and did my probation and everything.
Thank you, Mr. Knox-Deal. Questions from the board? Eric.
Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to
Hello.
talk with us today. As I look in the public docket of administrative liens, it appears that a child support lien was filed against you last month. Is there anything more you could tell the board about that?
Well, actually, I'm not supposed to be on child support. My children live with me. Like I said, I have full custody of my oldest three, and then my youngest son, we live together. I was put on child support. Um, I don't even know why. I can't tell you. We just had a meeting. Me and my son mother, we tried to tell the judge not to put me on child support, but they went and just put me on child support and told me if anything, just go down there and just remove me myself. I never really did it. Like I said, it doesn't bother. I won't say it doesn't bother me or do bother me. I mean, like I said, my children is in my life, so I just haven't went down there and got myself off of child support. But other than that, that's just that.
All right. Thank you.
Cindy.
Yeah, I want to go back to the crime, Mr. Knox-Deal.
Okay.
So when you arrived at Ellsworth, which is the institution, you were
Yes,
told
ma'am.
by staff there that she did not have a pass. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. When I got there, I went inside. When I first got there, I pulled up a man. I think he was a security guard. Walked outside and I asked him, where do I go to pick somebody up that has a pass or whatever? He told me to go in the inside. So I walked through the front door. I asked the man, hey, I'm here to pick up the person that I was there picking up. He told me to hold on. He made a phone call to check to make sure. He told me that the person didn't get a pass. And then I was confused. I'm like, man, they told me she gets a pass to come up here and pick her up and to come to the front door and everything. So after he told me that she didn't get a pass, I was like, okay, I was confused. So I just left. Um, on my way leaving, driving down the road, I get a call back from the defendant. She was like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "Man, they told me that you don't get a pass, so I just drove way out here. I wasted gas, I wasted my time and everything, and they saying you ain't getting a pass." So she told me like, "No, that's not wrong. I mean, that's not right. They're wrong. They're wrong." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what to do. What should I do?" That's when I asked her like, "Should I turn back around and wait while you figure this out?" She like, "Yeah." So I turned back around and went back. And then I waited in the parking lot uh, for her to call me back to see if she can go or not. So she wound up. No, I was waiting in the parking lot, and I was waiting in there for like probably 5 minutes, and then I look up, and she comes walking out the front door. Like I believe it was the front door. I don't know if it was a side door or front door, but she came from that front door area. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe she was right. It was a mistake. She gets in the car. I'm like, hello, how you doing? We talk for like maybe 10 seconds. I pull off. As I'm pulling off, I did see a van like circling, but I'm thinking the van is lost because when I got there, I was lost because it's like another building over there too. So I didn't know which building was which. So I'm like, okay, maybe they just lost. So I pull off. Uh, and then once I get to the main street, I'm driving, and then that's when I see the sheriff coming up, and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, what's going on? Because the sheriff turns back around behind us. So I'm talking to her, and she's looking nervous, and her voice is just distorted and everything. So I'm like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? She just rushed me, like, no, no, just go, just drive, don't stop, don't stop. And I'm like, that's when I'm like, what you mean, don't stop? So then she just get to like panicking, and I'm like, dude, what is really going on? And then like to the point where I forget I'm driving. So we getting into an argument, like, man, what did you get me into? And then when I look up, I'm like coming into the intersection into the light. So I try to stop, but I couldn't stop in time because the brakes on the car I was like in a beat up, trashy car. So I wind up passing the lights, and then the sheriff is behind me, put the lights on. I pull over right away. Like before I can even get the car fully stopped, she's already jumping out the car. She takes off. And like I said, I'm already in a state of fear, like and scared, like not knowing what to do because it's like this is not what I was coming here for. So once I seen the sheriff grab her and catch her, like I said, I made the biggest mistake of just driving off out of fear and just being scared. And then down like maybe a mile or two down, I get roadblocked and I get out and they arrest me. And then we go to the station and I just try to tell them everything that I could because I didn't know what was going on.
Had you
I
removed
wasn't,
had you removed the license plates from your vehicle before you went to pick
no,
up? According
no,
to one of the reports, there were no license plates on your vehicle.
yes. That's why I say like the way the story goes from the other from the other standing outside looking in, it would seem like I was a part of it because I did ask my cousin to use his car, which he had just bought the car. It wasn't no plates on it yet. But
Okay.
I'm just so eager to go up there to get my children's mother so she can, so I can get her back and so she can see her children because the children being waiting for her. She had 6 children, so I was taking care of all of them by myself. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna come get you so the kids can see you. I was happy that she could finally get a pass to get out and everything. Like I said, she was calling me. I even told the police, I was like, man, she was calling me from the jail phone. Y'all can listen to the recordings if they record them. She was literally calling me, telling me to come up there and she gets a pass and everything. And I know about passes because I had like my brothers and my stepfather, they was
Yeah.
incarcerated before. So I seen them get passes when I was little to come home and everything and work and everything.
All right.
So
One last question. Do you
yes,
still
ma'am.
have contact with this mother of your
Uh,
children?
no, I don't have contact with her at all. Like I said, I have full custody, all rights to my three oldest children that I have by her.
Okay.
Uh, only my oldest child contact her. She talks to her. We don't have no contact. No, we don't text, call, anything. I just take care of my children and just do what I have to do.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome now.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Knox-Deal. Appreciate your time
Thank
and
you.
enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too, ma'am.
Next up, we have Dadra Lockridge. Miss Lockridge.
Good morning.
Good morning. Miss Lockridge, are you able to start your video? I think we saw you before. There you are.
Yep, I did. I thought I did.
Yeah, you're good. We can see you.
Can you see me now? It's saying start my video. I clicked on there. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. I think there's just a little bit of a delay.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
My name is Dadra Lockridge, and I just want to thank you all for the opportunity. Okay. Should I wait?
Oh, no, you're good. I think there might be a delay. Your internet might be cutting in a little bit out, but we can hear you. So go ahead.
Okay. Again, thank you all. Good morning. My name is Dadra Lockridge, and I am thankful for the opportunity to be before you all. My crimes are use of in 1993, use of a dangerous weapon, robbery, threat of force, and possession of cocaine in 1999. Every time I look at these offenses, these crimes, I cringe, but I just thank God that he brought me out of there. One thing I do wish that I could do is apologize to those people for that happening to them. I was in a car with a bunch of people who we were using cocaine, and somebody brought up the idea of robbing the man who was selling the drugs. And so I was in the car, so I said yes as well. And so we went and did that. And when they caught me, they took me to jail, and I had to confess to the crime that I did, that I participated in. Throughout the next year, really 25 years of my life, I was caught up in drugs and alcohol in the fast lane, and it just took me somewhere that I did not want to be. Kept me longer than I wanted. I lost all my relationship with my family, with my kids. Just took me out of myself. I did not like myself much. And so when I got caught up in that web of drugs and alcohol, I just continued to spiral down. But I just wish that I could go back in time and say and apologize to them for that happening, but I know that I can't do that. And throughout the next 25 years of my life, it was possession of drug paraphernalia, drug offenses, habitual criminality, resisting and obstructing officers. But again, just like all of that energy that took me down there, I use just as much energy, if not more, to change my life, to take the steps in order to change my life. What I've done since then is I participated in Genesis Behavioral Services, at the Grove, Al-Anon, NACA, AA. I actually became a certified peer support specialist for the state of Wisconsin. I was working at Maida House in Milwaukee, and I think it was Parachute or Our Space, which Parachute House was connected to that. I became a certified cognitive behavioral therapist, licensed AODA counselor, a licensed substitute.
Miss Lockridge, we're just having some difficulty with your audio. Can you try turning your video off?
There was something on here that said that I was a peer support specialist for Racine Vocational Ministries, but actually I was a case manager for the homeless. I am the owner of Evolving Adult Family Home. So I've just been trying to keep myself, pace myself. I'm also a minister. I'm sorry. So I think that I can to reach back and help those people who. Okay. My video is off. Can you hear me?
We can. It's a little better now. We're just having some trouble with your audio.
I'm sorry. Let me try to turn my. Is that better?
Maybe, let's see.
Can you see me though?
We can't, but that's fine. I think just go ahead with just audio and hopefully we'll get a clearer sound.
Okay, I don't know where I left off at, that where you couldn't hear me, but
we got it. Yeah, we could make it out. It's just a little rough.
Okay, so I went back to school and got my associate's degree in human services. Why I want a pardon, I think it's for my professional career, because every time I have to complete a background check, I have to go back over these things that I've done, write down the description of what happened. And I just really would like to reach back and help somebody come out of that place that once darkness that I was once in.
Thank you, Ms. Lockridge. We'll open up to other questions from the board. Board members, Judge Crummers.
Good morning. Do you have a federal felony conviction from 2009? Were you convicted in federal court?
Yes, sir, I did. I was again with some other people. The guy who I was with was my boyfriend, and he was selling drugs. And this girl went and sold some drugs to another young lady in Waukesha. The lady in Waukesha injected the drugs, and she died. And
Okay.
so then
excuse me, I don't need to know the facts of that case, except to point out that even if the governor were to give you a pardon, you'd still have a felony on your record. You understand that?
Oh, I did not understand that.
Yeah, because the federal charge is also a felony.
Mm-hmm. So can I go back in front of someone else to get that removed?
Yeah, the president of the United States.
Okay.
But I have another question. On the crime itself the robbery that you're seeking a pardon for, in your application, you seem to suggest, if I'm reading it right, that you sat in the car, but the criminal complaint says that you actually went up to the door and knocked on the door because somebody inside recognized you, they opened the door. So which one is it?
Yes, I did that, sir. After I knocked, I went back to the car. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cindy?
Yeah. Good morning, Ms. Lockridge.
Good morning.
Is it fair to say that all your criminal offenses were fueled by your addiction to cocaine and heroin? Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you say in your application that you've been sober for 18 years, and it's probably longer now.
Yes.
How did you clean yourself from those drugs? Like how did you turn the corner on that after all this time?
So actually, I started getting into the Word of God, reading and just believing that He could change me, and then continuously going to AA meetings, NA meetings, CA meetings, Al-Anon meetings, volunteering at homeless shelters, and getting involved with those CA, NA, and NA meetings.
Those organizations, right? And do you still do that today to maintain your sobriety?
Yes, I do. Every now and then I still go to meetings, but I am actually the minister at my church that opens up the meetings at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Sunday. And I have my own ministry called Evolve with Minister Dadra Lockridge that I have meetings every fourth Saturday. And then I'm coming up on 8 years, and my 8-year anniversary is May 9th. We'll be celebrating.
Your 8-year anniversary as a minister, or your 8-year anniversary of what?
My 8-year anniversary as opening Evolve Ministries. Evolve Ministries. I'm the founder of Evolve Ministries.
Okay. And do you still work for Family Therapy Services?
No, I don't. I am actually the owner of Evolving Adult Family Home. So I had to let that job go because I had to tend to my own business.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Ms. Lockridge. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Okay, thank you. You as well.
Next up, we have Maisha Britt.
Bye-bye.
Ms. Britt, while you're getting on camera here, I'm just going to note that one of our board members, Anthony Cooper, has recused himself from your case, so you'll see him go off camera. He won't participate in questioning. That's why. Ready to hear from you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having the opportunity to be here today. Back in 2013, I received a charge of misappropriate ID, retail theft, and felony bail jumping. At the time, I made serious or poor decisions and didn't handle my responsibilities the way that I should have. I understand now how serious it is that it was back then. Since then, I have made real changes in my life. I stayed out of trouble for 13 years. I've been working in the warehouse field and focused on better, stable, and responsible work for myself. Recently, I've been dealing with complications of working on the hardwood floors and have a lot of problems with my feet. So I became certified residential assistant back in 2013, and I would like to move into the medical field of owning my own residential home. But my record has been a barrier for those opportunities. A pardon will help me. I'm seeking a pardon because I'm trying to move forward in a better, more stable career, especially in the medical field. I've been working in a warehouse, but it's really taking a toll on my body as I get older. Right now, I'm not working because I'm helping take care of my grandbaby. I have a 6-month new grandbaby that my son's girlfriend just had. She has medical issues where she has a G tube outside, so no daycares would take her. So that's why I've been home for the last 2 months helping her out with her going back to work and getting her life started. I would like to sincerely apologize to anyone affected by my choices and actions. I take full responsibility for the harm and the consequences that I may have caused. I understand now how those decisions impacted others in my life, and I regret doing them. For over 13 years, I have remained consistent in my work and my responsibilities and have kept a better, stable life and housing for me and my children. I'm focused on maintaining the stability and continue to move forward in a positive direction. What happened? Hello?
And we're here. Any questions?
Oh, no, I didn't
Go
see
ahead,
anyone
Judge.
because
Go ahead,
everything was
Judge Culver.
blank.
Go ahead, Judge.
You're fine. I think our chair had to step away for some reason, so
Okay.
I'll go ahead and ask you my question. It looks like in 2017, you got a civil judgment against you for $1,500. Was that for the unpaid restitution or was that for
Yes,
something else?
it was unpaid restitution.
Okay. Have you made any progress in paying that off?
Yes.
How much do you still owe?
Well, I have to go down to the state because they've been taking the state taxes. Every time that I file taxes, they're taking it based off of old payments and restitution. I haven't even received state taxes in the last 10 years. So I thought I was pretty much paid up.
Okay, but you don't know exactly how much you paid or how much you have left.
No. When I called downtown, she told me to come in person so she can see who I am, and then she'll print out everything of where the money is going. Because when they take the state taxes, I really don't know which way that the money is going. So I don't know how much money do I need to pay on it. Because I haven't received anything in the mail saying that I still owed anything.
Do you owe money to somebody else other than this civil
Not that
judgment?
not that I know of.
Okay. And then my other question, it says, it looks like in 2016, you had a retail theft.
That was the misappropriate the retail theft party to a crime, wasn't it?
No, this was in Sauk County.
Where is Sauk? I don't even know where Sauk is at.
Baraboo, I think.
Is that in Wisconsin Dells?
Could be.
I was with someone else that was still, and they left me. So the police, I was the only person that they could grab. I was
Okay.
with a niece and her friends, and we rode out to Wisconsin Dells
Yeah, you got
to do
convicted
shopping
of
for the
it.
kids. And
Yeah, you got
because they
convicted.
left me from running from the police, I was the one that was charged with it. They
Okay.
never got any property off of me
Okay, but you were convicted of retail theft.
because I was on probation.
Well, okay, all right. Did you get a fine?
No, I just got my probation extended. They took me back to court and they added on because I was on probation for more than 2 years.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have questions?
Maybe everyone stepped off.
No,
I have one, Judge.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Mira.
So, I commend you for taking care of your grandchild. That's a big job.
Yes.
But also, you apologized here on the stage here, but did you apologize personally to the people that you did offend, the people that you had them open the door? Did you apologize to any of those people?
I know I was very apologetic back then, so I know I apologize. It was one thing that I did that I really hate and regret that I did. So I most definitely apologize to them back then because I think they made me write a letter back then. But it's been so many years, I don't remember everything from back in 2013.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All right. Thank you, Ms. Britt. Appreciate your time and hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Next up, we have Richard Fischer. Mr. Fischer.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Fischer. We can hear you. We can't see you. Are you able to turn on your video?
It says you cannot start your video because the host has disabled it.
There we go. All right, go right ahead.
Grand Rising. My name is Richard Fischer. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I have prepared a written statement and would like to read it. I would like to get a pardon for my 2 felony convictions, receiving stolen property and misappropriate ID in 2004, and escape criminal arrest. In 2004, I had got hold of a police officer wallet and regretfully used his credit card to get food and motel for my children. At that time, we were homeless and I was desperate to keep my children safe. However, regardless of my struggles, it was wrong and illegal. And I sincerely apologize for my wrongdoings. While I was incarcerated, I was on a Uber privilege and was able to go home to take care of my children. However, my mother, who was taking care of my children, just left without anyone to watch my children. I had no one else to ask for help. My children were 1 year old and 4 months old. I could not leave them alone, so I stayed with them and did not return back to prison. I should have tried to find other ways to contact available agencies, but I didn't know what to do. Regardless of my situation, it was my fault, and I apologize for my failure to return to prison. I take full responsibilities for my past actions and the mistakes I made. My offenses occurred during a time in my life when I was making the best decisions. As a result, I received 90 days of House of Correction, 3 years of probation for the first case, and 120 days of House of Correction for the second case. I have completed my sentences as ordered by the court and was discharged from probation without revocations. This experience was a turning point in my life, and it helped me to realize the importance of accountability, responsibilities, and making better choices moving forward. Since completing my sentence, I have worked hard to rebuild my life, to contribute positively to my community. I have maintained steady employment and focused on being reliable, responsible, and dedicated in my work. In addition to my employment, I have been involved in supporting others practically through my work in childcare and education. I am committed to making a positive impact by helping children learn and grow in the safe and nurturing environment. These experiences have helped shape me into a more responsible and community-focused individual. I am seeking a pardon to continue moving forward in my life without a burden of my past mistakes holding me back while I have worked hard to change and grow. My record continues to create barriers to employment and other opportunities. A pardon would allow me to be fully demonstrated and the person I have become. Today, someone who is responsible, hardworking, and committed to contributing positively to society. I want the opportunity to better provide for my family, expand my career opportunities and community, continue being a positive role model in the community.
Thank you, Mr. Fischer. Questions from the board? Eric.
Good morning. It appears that in 2024, a restraining order was filed against you, and then this was dismissed when neither party appeared. Is there anything that you could tell the board about what was going on there?
I never knew a restraining order was given. I never knew it.
All right, thank you.
Other questions from the board? Cindy.
Good morning, Mr. Fischer.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm well.
Good, good. Thank you for being here. The district attorney's office, the person who reviewed your case, supports your application for a pardon. Now, you know Governor Evers will make the final decision, but what does that support mean to you?
I mean, the support will really help me. It's given me back everything that I lost. I'm in the process of trying to open up my own business and bettering myself. I've graduated from college. I got my associates in science of early education, childcare. So I've been working at childcare for 20 plus years, and this case have really going through this have really done something. So me not having been in trouble since 2004 till now, not being in trouble makes me feel good, and I can better myself and move on and do other things.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions from the board? Mr. Fischer, just one for me, following up on my colleague's question. It looks like there's also a 2012 TRO that was issued by Milwaukee, a temporary restraining order, for 4 years. Do you recall that?
No.
That one
See,
doesn't.
someone has been using my name.
Well, so this one I'm asking about doesn't have a date of birth, so that it is possible someone else with the same name. The 2024 one.
Someone just been using my name, and I just had to do a fingerprint last week before this upcoming thing we're doing now.
Mm-hmm. The 2024 one does appear to be associated with your date of birth, so you don't remember that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, that is it for me. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Fischer. I hope you enjoy your weekend.
You too. Same as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Naomi Wisnewski. Ms. Wisnewski.
Hi. Thank you all for your time this morning. In 2000, I was 17 years old, and I was convicted of party to a crime of robbery. Ooh. I thought I was going to make it further than this. I was young. I had a terrible upbringing, and I thought that I was a grown adult at a very young age because I was forced to be from a lot of very unfortunate circumstances. And as many people are aware, when you're very young and running far too old for your age, you find definitely the wrong group. That's pretty much how I got myself where I was. I was sentenced. I spent from the time I was 17 until I was 21 in Marathon County and Tachita Correctional. And when I was released, it was very easy for me to start my life over because my whole life was vanished. I was so young. I was just, everybody had grown up. Well, I was just gone. So I came back and just made a new life. So I started to do whatever work that I could and started to just build myself. It took me many years. I got an associate's degree in criminal justice. I started working in healthcare. I worked for a young group home for about 10 years. I was a group home manager, trying to, if you can help one to not do what you did, then I feel like I've done well in that situation. Fortunately, I was able to become a foster parent, and I have been with my partner for 20 years, and me and my wife have a foster daughter and now 2 grandchildren that we have because of my time working with the group home. I then went on to get my real estate license, and I went back to court 11/11 of 11, I had to go back to court because originally I was sentenced to 14 years and 8 months out of a 15-year charge, which is a lot as a 17-year-old child. You don't even understand how long that time is. So I was grown and I had proven myself. So I went back to court and Marathon County vacated my original charge on 11/11 of 11. And then they terminated, like, I think, I apologize, I don't have exact, but I think I had something like 7 years left on my original charge. And they cut that all off and said that I was done as of 11/15/11. I needed that so that I could continue to have a foster home and take care of the children that I was taking care of, because I couldn't currently be on supervision and be supervising people on supervision. So I've kind of gotten every exception and changed every step along the way that I've needed to. When I was on probation, I used to work with felons, helping them get jobs. So I had to have specific exceptions. So that, again, is why I'm here asking for yet another one. Once I was released from my that was how I ended up finishing my sentence. I was vacated and I was done. Since then, I got my real estate license in 2012. I've been a real estate broker for the last almost 15 years now. I have a really good life. I've done really well and I'm super happy, like, and just whole. I thought about my crime for a very long time when I was young. I would be wrong if I said that it still affects me regularly. I have come so far that it's a lifetime ago. And then some. So now recently the market was becoming hard for me because I'm a salesperson with a really big heart, and the market was really hard for me to sell to first-time home buyers. So I went into title work and I found that I love being a closing agent. But you can't be a notary anywhere in the United States unless you get a pardon. So I got my dream job when I applied for my pardon, and I didn't even know that I needed it. That was the only way I could get my notary license. So I applied for my pardon, and my job held on to me for 9.5 months and made accommodations. And then my boss tearfully came to me and said, "I'm really sorry. We've tried to wait, but this process is too long." And so I lost it. And currently I'm working as a customer service worker for a propane company, which is a wonderful job, but needless to say, I've come really, really far to step right here, right now. And I'd really like a pardon so that I can get my notary and continue to do what I love to do so that I can continue to support my family and the wonderful life I've built.
Thank you, Ms. Wisnewski. Questions from the board? Cindy.
Yeah, good morning, Ms. Wisnewski. Can you tell us about the 2006 misdemeanor criminal damage charge? What were the facts around that?
Yes. When I was released in 2003, the funny thing about when, especially in a small community like mine, when you get released, they put you in a lot of these community programs with other people who are being released. And needless to say, I didn't know anybody after being gone for 3 years. So therefore, my only friend circle became those other people in those other groups. And that was not good. So I was in a relationship with somebody else who was also on supervision. And that person cheated on me, and I put their stuff outside of my apartment, disregarding them, and I got criminal damage to property. And 2006, I realized, hey, I can't run in this crew, even though it's the one I'm put in. Like, I need to find my own. And that was that.
That was your last contact with the criminal justice system. I mean, you didn't discharge till 2011, but you did no other offenses since.
Correct. Nope. That was a bad relationship gone worse. And I realized that I needed to heal.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you. This is a difficult forum to talk about the issues, but we understand. So thank you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge Kremers, did you also?
Tell us a little bit about the crime itself, the robbery.
I was 17 years old, living in an apartment, working a job, going to school virtually, and I was running with a bad crowd of guys. They were runaways from a group home, and they were trying to get down to Milwaukee. I was a smart mouth young kid, and I ended up sitting in the car while they went into a gas station. And I was party to a crime. I was there. I absolutely did not report anything in a timely fashion. Like I had no idea that being a part of something was just as bad as being it when I was that young.
You didn't know they were going to go rob these.
No, I absolutely did. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I knew it, and I did not report anything, and I did not know that knowing about something was as bad as doing it when I was that young. I mean, I was a smart mouth young kid, but I was still way too much of a young kid. And being completely upfront, there had been a series of robberies by young kids in my area, and the DA had very much so made it a statement. It was front page of the paper that they were making an example of me. That is why I got 14 years and 8 months out of a 15-year sentence. It was there were kids around the area doing it. It wasn't the first idea, so therefore it was a lot worse than it.
Okay. It looks like you got a civil judgment against you, at least it was still in place as of 2019 for $6,900 and some dollars. Was that for restitution in this case?
No, all of my restitution was paid. I did have a judgment against me for a medical thing. And then I had an issue with my builder when we built my house, but that was, we had taken care of that.
Okay, is the medical one still unpaid?
No, all of my judgments are paid. Everything is.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you, Ms. Wisnewski. I think that covers it from us. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy your Friday.
Thank you. You too.
Next up, we have Christopher Culver. Mr. Culver.
Can you hear me? I'm trying to get on the, it's not clicking back. Maybe it's delayed. There we go.
There we go.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Chris Culver. Back in 2001, I made a mistake with my roommate. We had just moved into Madison. He lost his job, was freaking out about his rent. I made a bad decision to drive him to commit a armed robbery with a BB gun at a shoe store. You know, one of the worst decisions I've ever made. So I got charged party of the crime, armed robbery. You know, it was, yeah, the hardest thing I have no excuses for it. It was the worst thing I've ever done. You know, ever since I've worked, I've gone to school, I have a family. I don't, you know, I'm not a criminal. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm actually just blessed to be here today. I didn't know I'd ever have this opportunity. And you know, it's really kind of the biggest things with this felony for me is career-wise, I've always had to, you know, I wanted to go into healthcare, and you know, obviously that's a hard thing to go into with a felony, and so I've been skirting around the edges. I went into graphic design, I went to school, and you know, having to take jobs that, you know, I was overqualified for, but were more small mom and pop type businesses. I didn't do a lot of background checks, any federal contracts I'd have issues with. Traveling visas, I got denied a visa. I had to go down to the Chinese consulate down in Chicago to plead my case, and I got denied for a visa for that to go to our HQ. A bunch of things that, that are, and I'm just here to like try and provide for my family and just move on with my life. And worst thing I've ever done. And, I've been pretty straight and narrow since. Uh, so I appreciate being able to be in front of you guys. Not speaking as smooth as I had hoped to, but very nervous. And, yeah, I think I covered everything. Yeah, I'm just trying to improve my career. I would like to, be able to go places with visas and stuff like that where, with my kids and my family. And it's just, it's not who I am. What happened in 2001, huge mistake. I think I valued friendship over common sense back then. And that's my self-diagnosed psychological diagnosis on the whole thing. I've done therapy while I was in and after. Me and my family go to church and stuff like that. So
Thank you, Mr. Culver. Questions from the board? Cindy.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. In your application, Mr. Culver, you really don't talk about the store employee and the impact on that victim.
Kathy, Catherine.
And we don't have to mention
Oh,
names,
oh,
please.
sorry.
I'm just saying that, you worked at the store, so you knew the opening procedure. You knew she would be there alone. You coordinated all that. Can you talk about the impact on that person being come up from behind with someone who they think has a weapon and what that meant to them?
Yeah, the worst part about that is like she was in the same friend group as people that I knew. I worked with a lot of people in the store, and I don't know what was going through my head at the time or how I processed the situation as far as how it would impact people. It's one of the biggest regrets I've ever had. I lost a lot of, I mean, not about me, but I've lost a lot of friends over it, and the impacts on her and my family and everybody. It's like it was a big eye-opening event to show like, the world, like seeing how my actions can affect other people. And I feel horrible for her and what that could have felt like for her. And I wouldn't wish on anyone else. I have a daughter. I couldn't imagine her having to go through that experience. It's a huge moment of vulnerability. You don't know what's going on. Even though we knew on our side that it was, there was no intent of like harm or anything. It was just a BB gun. We reduced that in our young childish minds as if it wasn't as bad. But as I matured and went through the whole process, that's just a horrible thing to put someone through, the trauma. And I sent her obviously I sent her a letter, victim victim statement letter during the time, and just apologized. Obviously I've never had contact with her since. But it's one of those things where it's deeply regrettable. I can't imagine how she feels about it, and I can only ask for forgiveness, and I would understand if she never forgave me either, because there's that moment of trust, and we were acquainted as friends as well. So yeah,
Okay.
I can only yeah.
I'm going to move on. In your application, you ask the section 11 where it asks about why you think a pardon should be granted. You say it's been over 24 years since my conviction, and I've lived a life of integrity and responsibility since then, etc. But in a previous section, you talk about the obstacles to getting being able to go international travel. And you talk about where you worked before and you couldn't get a visa for a trip to China. And then this is from your words. This situation forced me to fabricate a personal reason for my absence. I'm curious why you wouldn't just be upfront and honest with your employer at the time about why you couldn't get a visa. Why would you be
Well,
forced to fabricate a reason? And
well,
how does that mesh with your belief that you're living a life of integrity?
Well, so obviously, something like this, when you say armed robbery, when you're getting a job, this is kind of like me going around saying I had a skirt around kind of like finding jobs in my field, because I work in marketing and graphic design, and so those fields are good for not doing background checks for a lot of jobs. And so that's kind of why I went into it. Luckily, I turned out to be decent at it, but it wasn't necessarily that I went into this job interview for this company. It was a startup. And these were the type of jobs I would have to take because I would get denied whenever I put anything on with I mean, it's a hard thing to look at, armed robbery felony. Like if anyone sees that, like we can say that people aren't going to equal opportunity, but obviously they're going to see that and they're going to take the person that doesn't look as risky. So, yeah, I got hired on the spot for this interview and I never disclosed any of that stuff. Like I didn't have a background check or any of that stuff. So when we got more seed money to expand and, you know, is becoming more of a structured company from a startup, you know, new people came in, a new CEO came in, and none of that stuff had been disclosed. I had to kind of petition to keep my job with the new people coming in. I had to like petition to keep my job. So like I didn't want to, you know, hey, by the way, I have a felony, all this stuff like that. So when they got to me going over to China to the HQ, because I was part of the marketing team, and where they want us to meet the team and integrate into that, I had to, you know, I had hoped. I went down and I pleaded my case. I sat down at the consulate for however long, and they just denied me. And at the time, I just didn't want to lose my job. It's hard to get jobs with felonies, and you know that's on me. That's my fault. But yeah, so I just used an excuse saying that I got denied for something else, a little more trivial. I think I put in there I had driving without a license on a motorcycle. So I said they use that as a denial, but it's not that I wanted to not tell the truth there. If you're going back to integrity, it's more so that when these things happen, it's about kind of about survival too, and that's kind of where I was at. I was, you know, I was finally getting. It was a hard road to get into, even into my field. And then I finally had a real job in the field. I didn't have to be a waiter anymore. And, you know, it was kind of one of those things. It was a huge step for me professionally and a lot of work I put in to get there. So it was just a tough call. And I, you know, didn't want to lose that in the moment. And I did work there for like 8 years, but it definitely minimized my role a little bit because I had a team of 3 of us starting up and the other guy was able to go, and it kind of propelled him. I'm not saying that necessarily was the case, but it kind of propelled him with more responsibility, and he went and he was more in tune with the team in China, and I was more of a secondary role at that point. So but
Okay.
yeah, as far as integrity, yeah, it's not that I was trying to lie about it or anything. It just was just kind of a weird situation.
Thank you.
Judge Kremers, sorry, I couldn't get unmuted.
Good morning, sir. Have you seen the letter that your victim wrote to us?
No, I haven't.
She supports your request for a pardon.
Oh, wow.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it kind of makes me emotional. You know, I've always regretted the whole situation, and I've regretted, you know, the impact that it had on those people and a whole bunch of people. It's like, excuse me, sorry. A whole bunch of people. Like when this kind of stuff happens, you don't, like, you're thinking selfishly, you're not thinking about, you know, outward, you know, factors. And, you know, I lost a lot of, you know, yeah, just that's very gracious of her, and I appreciate it that she supports it.
Well, it's even more gracious, as you put it, because she spends the first half of her letter talking about how much this has affected her negatively in her life and with her kids and everything else. And yet, notwithstanding that, she supports your request for a pardon. So, thank you.
Other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Culver. I appreciate your time today, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. So I log off now?
You're welcome to, yeah.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Next up, we have Kenneka Jones. Miss Jones? Miss Jones, do we have you in the Zoom? Okay, we will come back to Miss Jones if we're able to get her. And in the meantime, Randall Coltenberg, Mr. Coltenberg. Randall Coltenberg. All right, how about Beatrice Johnson? Miss Johnson, I believe I saw you.
Hi, I'm here. Oh my gosh, that echo is crazy. Did you hear that too?
Are you logged in on the phone as well, Miss Johnson?
No, I'm just on a computer.
Do you have headphones or something like that that you could try plugging in?
I can try to plug in my. I wonder if I should just log in from my phone. Just 1 second, please.
No problem.
Try to get some headphones here. See if these work. Is that better?
I think a little bit. Try talking again.
Just seeing if this is better. I'm not sure what's going on.
There is still a bit of an echo. Why don't you try calling in by phone as well? And if you need help troubleshooting that, we can have someone reach out to you. But I want to make sure we can hear you clearly.
Okay, it should just take me 1 second. Just pulling up the pardon information. Let me copy that link. I can do it. Copy. I'm going to go over to Zoom. Sorry about this.
That's okay. We all have tech troubles. Sometimes very randomly with Zoom, but it comes for us all.
And then the code. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry.
Hello?
Hello, Ms. Johnson, is that you?
No, this is Randall Coltenberg call.
Got it, Mr. Coltenberg. We moved on to another applicant. We'll come back to you in just a minute. We're just troubleshooting.
Okay. Okay.
Ms. Johnson, if you're speaking, we can't hear you on the phone. Ms. Jones, we can see you, we can't hear you. We'll come back to you as well. You weren't here when we originally called your name. We're just trying to get something here.
Now I'm here on my phone. Can you see me?
We can. This sounds a little bit better. Can you try saying one more sentence for me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there's just a bit of an echo. I don't know why. Let's try, we're gonna remove your other presence from the Zoom here. Let's try. Okay, I think we're down to one of you. Try talking now.
Okay, is that better?
It's not.
Jeez.
I don't know what's going on. Okay, we'll have someone reach out to you and we might just bring you in by phone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so in the meantime, I believe we have Ms. Jones now. Ms. Jones, we can go back to you. Okay, we just need you to unmute. Oh, no, we can't hear you now. No. You could try some headphones, Ms. Jones, or we can try bringing you in by phone as well. Still can't hear you now. Okay. We'll have someone reach out to you as well, Ms. Jones, and see if we can get you to call in and help you troubleshoot. Okay, I think you're telling me you're going to call in. That sounds good. We don't need to be able to see you if we can't get video and phone working at once. That's okay. So why don't you do that? And in the meantime, we'll go back to Mr. Coltenberg, who I believe we could hear. We lost Mr. Coltenberg. Okay, it's a day of Zoom miracles for sure. But we'll get everyone sorted here shortly. We'll try our last applicant in the morning session. Tanya Trent-Allen. Ms. Trent-Allen, do we have you?
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay,
Amazing.
sorry. It made me bring up two different screens. Can you see me?
We can't, but if we can't get your video going, we might
Okay, I'm gonna try to, okay. You asked me, so, unmute.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry. Excuse my appearance. I'll answer. I don't, my son cleaned up and moved my paperwork, so I'm gonna wing it. I've been taking notes and answering the things people are answering. So back in 1996, which I had to get off of microfilm to send the paperwork to you guys, I was charged with party to armed robbery. And honestly, I didn't do that. And I'm not trying to be in denial. My case was never heard in court because I had to plead no contest based on the actual offender threatening to make my case worse. And I did ride in the car the time, I think it was a couple times that he robbed a place, but I didn't know that's what he was doing at the time. I was very young and very naive. I grew up in suburbia America, and for some odd reason, the street life really interested me. And he introduced me to drugs, which that was very hard to live like. But then I had tried to leave him a couple of times, but he was so afraid I was going to tell on him that he physically kept me in his care. And I ended up able to escape and go to the crisis center. Back in the day, it was right by the courthouse. And he ended up following me there, and he got admitted too. And I found out I was pregnant there. And I have to tell you, becoming a mom changed my entire life. Everything was about my kids, has continued to be about my kids. And for the most part, I've been a single mom, raising 3 children, um, and I did volunteer work at the schools that they went to. I was part of the FAST family that was once a week for the kids. I have volunteered to do children's church every Wednesday for about 4 years that I was taking my kids. I also did sports with them. I've always worked full time. Maybe a layoff here and there if a company closed. I was on probation for my crime, 2 years probation, with a withheld sentence of 3 years to go to Taichida had I did anything wrong on probation. And I don't have a bad story to talk about with probation because they helped me so much with everything I didn't know about real life. Like I said, I didn't know much about real life because it was suburbia America that I grew up in. It was a very, we just didn't talk about things that you needed to live. And not only that, at that time, biracial relationships were very frowned upon. And I was actually shocked that the judge that convicted me was even still around because he was very old when I pleaded no contest, and he was very. I'm not trying to pass blame. I'm just trying to tell the truth to people who will hear it for the first time because I didn't get my day in court, and he was very prejudiced, and my family was very prejudiced in being with in a biracial relationship and about to have a biracial child. It was so frowned upon back in those days. It's not like today at all. But them children, them children were everything to me. I was off the drugs. I went to a rehab facility, which then I ended up working there too because it's not who I am. And I've never done drugs since. I've been a neighborhood mom to a lot of teens that don't have good support in their home throughout the years. And then in 2023, and I've had good jobs, my felony has not really deterred me from having good employment. I just didn't apply for things like I would never apply to be a bank teller because I have that party to armed robbery on me. But I was an account manager. I have worked, my last job was North Shore Gas in Illinois. And I would schedule the union for their work. And I worked there for 5 years before I got sick in 2023. I got deathly sick, and I have had 4 brain surgeries. They found I coughed one day and my whole life changed, blew my hearing out in my left ear. And while they were trying to fix that, and I got vertigo, is when they found that my brain was leaking down my neck. And so I spent most of 2023 in the hospital. I do need help to care for myself now. And my son and my youngest daughter help with that and taking care of me. However, my son is the one that has been pushing me to go for this pardon because he feels that, and he's not wrong, that I am, in today's society, I'm an easy target for people to try to either rob me or attack me. And my son wants to be able to protect our home. And with the felony, I can't be around any armed guns or anything. And he really would like to have one at the home, not for me to use because I can't pull the trigger or anything like that, but just for him to have to protect us. I'll have to live with my children for the rest of my life. And I am better than what they said I would be. They thought I'd be a vegetable forever, but I have learned how to walk and use the bathroom and eat by myself again. It took a very long time. They didn't expect me to live, and the doctors say I'm a miracle. So honestly, for my children to feel comfortable being in the home, to be able to take care of me, I would be very blessed and a miracle for this pardon to go through. Like I said, my felony has never hurt me through my years of employment, but I am permanently disabled now, and I need my children. I don't want to go into a home, and I would like to have them to continue to help take care of me and keep us safe. But they also want to grow up and be adults now. They're adults now, and they just very young adults. And so that's why I'm asking for this pardon, just so they feel safe and able to protect me, because I can't do that for myself anymore.
Thank you, Ms. Trent-Allen. We'll
Thank
open up the
you.
questions from the board.
Now,
So-
I do have civil judgments, and most of them are medical because.
Yeah, Ms. Trent-Allen, that's okay. If we have questions about a specific one,
Sure.
we'll ask you about it, but I understand you probably have a lot of medical bills, so.
I
Cindy?
do.
Yep. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
ma'am.
morning.
As part of the application process, applicants are encouraged to submit letters of support for their application, and you chose not to submit any letters of
I
support.
thought I did it all, everything that I was supposed to. If I missed, that's because of my issues. I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's
My
okay. Thank
son
you.
was going to come to court with me, but he had to work today. He couldn't get off because he took off for my grandmother dying last week. So I apologize.
Other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Ms. Trent-Allen. That covers everything. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much for hearing me out. You guys have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and I think that we've got Randall Coltenberg back by phone. Mr. Coltenberg, if so, we're ready to hear from you.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Sorry about not having a video, but I have a flip phone yet, and I'm in old school, so that's the reason for that. Good morning to all of you in the Pardon Advisory Board. I, Randy Coltenberg, are asking for a pardon of my conviction of theft in 1996. My conviction of theft was about a 9-month period with Wisconsin distributors in 94 and 95. I pleaded guilty of taking partial cash payments and giving credits of products of our business. One day I got called into the office and they discussed that with me with a police officer there. And I pleaded guilty on that. And the officer at that time took me home, and I was dismissed of all my duties at Wisconsin Distributors. Later, a few days later, I went back to the officer station and made a statement. I'm very sorry for what I did. I was going through a divorce and with child support at the time, getting behind on some bills. And I know I did very, very wrong things. The owners at that time, the president and the vice president, we talked after this was all done already in many years. And I've seen them more than once in person again. And they just wish I would have come to them and discussed the problem that I was going through instead of doing what I did. My sentence was on 4/26 of 96. I got 10 years probation with 6 months in jail, which I only spent 5 days in jail and got a work release and with a home arrest. I started working when I got released in concrete for about 4 or 5 years, and got remarried in 99 with my wife for 26 years now. We bought a restaurant, Fishtails in Lodi, Wisconsin, and it's still going. We had it for about 11 and a half years. We sold it. My wife got another different job with insurance and everything, but I stayed on board with them, and I retired when I was 62, and I'm still at Fishtails part-time. I got did a lot of things at the restaurant with the community, and got to know thousands of great people, great friends. We had luncheons for the local KCs, Rotaries, a lot of the police officers in town there, the fire department. We did a lot of fundraisers for people that needed fundraisers to raise money for their families that had cancer or other items that we did. I just would like to ask the board to give me a pardon on this offense that happened over 30 years ago. And like I said before, I'm remarried now. We're doing very, very well. We got a lot of great friends, 4 grandchildren, and I would just like the board to look at this case to see if that can relieve me of this pardon. I tried 2 years ago. The biggest thing I found out that I was still had a felon. I never had any other issues, but 2 years ago I tried to get a global entry for traveling now with my siblings and my family. They all have the card, and my wife and I went down one day and she got hers, but I was declined because of this conviction that I didn't even know I had. I thought I was relieved of that after the 10-year period. I got released, discharged earlier in 2002 with home arrest, restitution, and probation. So I thought it was a done deal. I never really looked into it after that until this come up. So I would like you to take a peek at that and have you and the Governor Evers hopefully give me a pardon on this situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Coltenberg. Questions from the board? Mr. Coltenberg, just one for me. It looks like you were sentenced to pay restitution, pay the money back. Did you complete those payments?
Yes, yep. Everything was completed by 2002. And like I said, I was early. I got an early discharge with home arrest, probation, and restitution. Yes.
Thank you. All right. I don't see any other questions. So thank you for your time, Mr. Coltenberg. I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Okay, you too. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. And we are going to try Miss Jones again. Miss Jones, I believe we have you on the phone.
Hi, how are you?
We've got a bit of an echo, Miss Jones.
Even on the phone? Oh my God.
It sounds
Can you hear me
better.
now? Yes, I hear you. I'm just going to cut off the computer zone.
Okay.
Did that help some? Did that help any? Hello?
Ms. Jones, now we're having trouble hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's great. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay. Thank you, first of all, for letting me be able to have this hearing. I'm very happy just to be here. My name is Beatrice Johnson. In 2009.
I'm sorry. Hang on.
This is where.
But this is a little confusing because we've got you both on the phone. Is Ms. Johnson or Ms. Jones speaking?
Ms. Johnson.
Okay. All right, Ms. Johnson, we'll hear from you. And Ms. Jones, if you can hear us, we will come right back to you. Ms. Johnson,
Okay,
go
thank
ahead.
you. You said Johnson Beatrice. Go ahead.
Ms. Johnson, and now maybe there is an echo again. Can you just try stating your name clearly?
Beatrice Johnson.
Okay, I think that's clear. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay. Thank you for having me here today. I'm very honored just to be able to sit in front of the board. Back in 2012, I was convicted of theft by false representation. Actually, theft by fraud then was changed to theft by false representation for $2,500. What happened is one day I was running a childcare business. One day, someone that was hired, a contractor by DCF, came for investigations of records and businesses, and my records were not given to them. So a couple of days later, I woke up publicly accused of fraud. I really didn't know what was going on because a lot of emergency meetings were held based on the deficiency in the budget, and a lot of laws and rules changed and were implemented. Dole decided to remove the term intentional regarding fraud in the sheriff's program. So the department was able to basically close and suggest criminal charges for business owners based on reasonable suspicion of subsidy violations. So I was accused of fraud eventually based on attendance record violations, which I was not up to par with my paperwork whatsoever. I was just always busy taking care of children. And so when all of these things were happening and I was being publicly accused, I feared and I panicked, and I started trying to these laws that were being kind of made retroactive, I started trying to satisfy them, rewriting my attendance records because I didn't have any. And I was just afraid that if I didn't have any, then I would be criminally charged, which it just made the situation worse. It snowballed, and I was very ashamed to admit that at the time, even to my attorney, that, these records are just something I tried to, put together just because I didn't want to be, criminally charged. I didn't even know what I was really being charged with. And so, like I said, that snowballed, and it just kind of went from there, and I was accused mostly of having children in my personal attendance records for Saturday versus if I had them in my attendance on Wednesday. It didn't make a difference in the change, but based on the new laws that they brought in, they were saying that if I would have reported accurate hours, they would have reduced hours, not pay. So that's how that kind of went. I since then did 6 months in jail, completed 2.5 years of probation. The probation was pretty easy to me because I'm a pretty law-abiding person. I try not to get involved in anything, kind of stay away from people that are involved in things, but you can't control everything. She was really cool with me. I didn't have any problems with that. I did seek therapy because I went through a lot of things mentally. However, that did not, stop me from doing the things I needed to do. When I completed my probation, I came right home. I got into an advanced culinary art class. I graduated at the top of my class. I also decided to start putting myself into the community and helping people that are less fortunate. Is still a passion of mine. So I like to make sandwiches and chips and things like that every once in a while and pass them out. I try to do a coat drive and collection of warm clothes and socks and things like that in the wintertime. Right now, this really has affected me, not just mentally, but as far as being able to attain employment, as soon as before I was even convicted, just being publicly accused, I was let go from my job. At the time, I didn't know that it was wrong for them to do that, but that's what happened. And just since then, it's been very hard to find employment. It's the first thing they look at, no matter how good my personality is, no matter the things that I do or how good I am at my job. At other places, it's just really hard to find employment. That's the first thing they see. And I don't know if they look at it as if I took someone's bank account or something like that, but it's been really hard to attain an employment. Since then, I also have been in nursing school with a 4.0 GPA. It just really terrifies me that after completing this, I don't know if I'll still be eligible to be hired and actually make a good living for my children. So this part and what it would mean to me is being able to be a better contributor to society, not just being able to help my family, but also to help people that are less fortunate by me being able to attain better employment. I even saved a letter from being turned down to chaperone at my children's school for a field trip. sorry, and that one really hurt me. Excuse me. Also, going on vacations with my family, I can't book an Airbnb or anything like that because I have this criminal record. Being a real estate agent really isn't making me a lot of money because I'm still like 5 years into it. I haven't really built up the clientele I need. And even just getting appointments, sometimes people look at your background because you're an individual real estate agent. So I'm also entering these houses, and they're having the Real Estate Association has an arm in carry class that they give because of a murder with one of the real estate agents that happened. And every time I show a house or a rental in some of these very sketchy and rough areas, I'm walking into danger. I have a lot of people that fraudulently call me to set up appointments and things like that. And it's just really scary for me that I can't protect myself in any way. So obtaining this pardon would be a blessing on me mentally. It would be a blessing for me to be able to support my family, because no matter the knowledge I attain, no matter the good I do, like just 2 days ago, I found the older man's wallet, and the first thought I had was to return it. And it took me 2 times. And he had over $400 in that wallet, and I returned that wallet, no problem. That's my character.
I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to make sure we get to the questions the board has for you. So board members, any questions? Eric.
Good morning. It appears that when you were discharged, you still owed restitution, and as I look in CCAP, it looks like that amount is now at collections. Could you give us an update on the status of restitution?
So right now I am paying it off through the Department of Revenue, and I'm on a monthly payment plan. It was quite a bit because they actually put civil together with the criminal, which was only $2,500. So I've been paying that. They've been taking my state taxes every year also to pay that.
All right. Thank you.
Other questions? Judge Gremmers.
Do you know what the balance is that you owe?
After the state taxes are taken this time, it should be about $6,000.
Okay. And if I understand correctly, when you got charged, you have a right to do this, obviously, but you took this to a jury trial because you didn't think you were guilty of this. And is that correct? You had a jury trial?
Yes, I did have a jury trial based off of them saying that. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yes.
Okay, you answered.
Yes.
And as you sit here today, you still are still taking the position you didn't do anything wrong. Is that correct?
Oh, no, I definitely did something wrong with not being honest with my attorney when they came to collect attendance records. I was very scared, and I kind of made those up. And that's exactly what they held my criminal case off of. And I just never admitted to it. I was completely wrong I should have just said, I don't have any records, any paperwork, and left it like that. If I can go back, I can't.
So your position is you didn't get any money you weren't entitled to.
Yes, they were paying us whether children came or not to the child care. It's set up the same way now, where if you have 35 hours and a kid only comes 12 hours, you're still paid that amount of money. So it's still the same setup. And that's the position that I took in. That's kind of what happened.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. I appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you too.
Kenneka Jones, Ms. Jones, we're ready to hear from you.
Hello.
Hello, Ms. Jones.
Hi.
Glad we can hear you. Go right ahead.
Great. I am Kenneka Jones. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to try to get this pardon. I would like to apologize deeply for my commitment of this crime. Unfortunately, I was young and making very unfortunate, immature mistakes. I obtained a felon in 2004. I stole a person's credit card that I found and used it to purchase clothes. I have no excuse for what I did. Like I said, I was young and making immature, irresponsible decisions. I sincerely apologize for my wrongdoings and illegal behavior. I was sentenced to 9 months at the House of Correction and 2 years of probation. I did serve 6 months of time and paid all restitutions fully during my probation. Since this conviction, I have not committed any other crime. I did further my education. I did get my CNA license, CBRF, child care, landmark and welding as well. As far as work goes, I've been doing caretaking at nursing homes, hospice, and with private duty. I would like to further my education and try to obtain my own group home as well. But with this felon, it's allowing me to do so. So I would like to have this pardon if so. I've also volunteered at daycares with kids, hosting activities and doing feeding. I've also helped at my daughter's school, which is Tech and Bayview High School, as a parent aide, which is helping kids with homework and, going on field trips with them as well. Also in churches, I've helped elders get around the church, do feedings, and pass out shelter food, for homeless and whoever needs it. I would also like to show my daughter that this, conviction will not be my last step, and that she too, can succeed and provide, for herself and education-wise, just as I can.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Board members, any questions? Cindy.
Good morning, Ms. Jones. Thank you for, in both your application and then this morning, mentioning the impact on the victim and understanding the impact to someone else of your crime. So I really appreciate that. The Milwaukee County District Attorney who reviewed your application supports your application for pardon. Now, Governor Evers will make the final decision, but what does that DA's office support mean to you?
It would mean everything. Like I said, I'm trying to open my own group home, so that would definitely help me out. And like I said, as well as show my daughter, because she's 19, I would like to show her that your mom is not a person who just gives up because of a felon. I want to try to provide and do better for us.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Ms. Jones. I believe that covers everything from us. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Great, thank you. So do you all.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, that concludes our first morning session. We are running a little bit behind, so we're going to dive right into our second morning session. Welcome everyone who's scheduled for 10 o'clock. If you've just joined us in the Zoom, my name is Mel Barnes. I'm Chief Legal Counsel to Governor Evers and the chair of his Pardon Advisory Board. I'm going to introduce my fellow board members, go through a little bit of housekeeping about how today's hearing will work, and then we'll get started hearing from all of you. So with us today, we have board member Anthony Cooper Sr., who is the CEO of Focused Interruption, an organization dedicated to interrupting the devastating cycle of violence with the help of the community. And Mr. Cooper received a pardon from Governor Evers in January of 2021. We have board member Judge Jeffrey Kremers, who is AG Hall's nominee to this board. Judge Kremers was a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge for 26 years, and including serving as chief judge for 7 of those years before retiring in 2018. And we have board member Cindy O'Donnell, who served as the Deputy Secretary for the Department of Corrections under Governors Thompson, McCallum, and Doyle. She also served as a Division Administrator under Attorneys General Lautenschlager and Van Hollen. And we have board member Myrna Warrington, who is the Director of Vocational Rehabilitation on the Menominee Indian Reservation. She's a U.S. Army vet and has been a member of the Menominee Tribal Legislature for over 15 years. And finally, we have board member Professor Eric Liberator, who teaches paralegal students from around the world in the University of Cincinnati's online program. He previously served as supervising attorney at Disability Rights Wisconsin and in the governor's office. So a couple things to know about today's hearing. Please keep in mind this is being live streamed via YouTube. So applicants will ask you to keep your video off and yourself muted until it is your turn to be heard by the board. If you run into any IT issues, don't worry. We've already had our fair share of Zoom issues this morning. And if we need to come back to you or to get you on the phone, staff will reach out to you and help you navigate that. Otherwise, we're going to call on folks in the order listed in the agenda and open meeting notice. And each applicant will have about a total of 5 minutes with the board. We're going to ask you to spend the first 3 of those minutes speaking to the questions that you were sent in advance of today's hearing. As a reminder, those are to first, please give us a brief summary of the offense you're seeking a pardon for and how your sentence went. We're not here to retry the crime. You don't need to minimize your involvement. We just want to hear from you in your own words what happened. Second, give us a brief statement of what you've done since the completion of your sentence, community involvement, employment, essentially where you're at now and how your life is different than the time of your offense. Third, and finally, a brief statement about why you're seeking a pardon and why you think Governor Evers should grant you one. Once you've spent 3 minutes speaking to those questions, we'll open it up to follow-up questions from the board. Don't read too much into it either way. If we do or don't have questions for you, as you know, your applications are quite detailed and we spent a lot of time with those materials before today's hearing. If we do have questions though, it's really important that we get to those so we make sure we can make thorough recommendations to the governor. Once you're done answering any questions, you're welcome to sign off the Zoom and leave. And then once everyone's been heard, the board will meet in closed session to decide whether or not to recommend your application to the governor for a pardon. You need a majority support of board members present in order for your application to be sent to Governor Evers, who will then make the final decision about whether or not to grant you a pardon. Either way, you'll find out about the outcome of today's hearing about 1 to 2 months from today. We know you've been really patient just to get to hearing day, so we thank you for that little bit of additional time to get our recommendations to the governor. With that, we're ready to start with our second set of applicants this morning with Timothy Cramps, our first applicant. Mr. Cramps.
Good morning. Thanks for your time today. My name is Tim Camps. Just a brief summary of what happened. So in fall of 1998, a few days after I turned 18 years old, I struck out on my own, had a job lined up in the Milwaukee area, and quickly ran into financial difficulties, as you might expect for an 18-year-old on his own. In the spring of 1999 and summer of 1999, I made a series of the worst mistakes of my life, I would say. I had access to an inventory of laptop computers in my role as a tech support specialist for the U.S. subsidiary of a German drug company I was working for. I stole a number of those laptops to try to make ends meet. A couple of years later, it caught up to me. I was arrested and charged for that crime. Did 4 months of jail time, which I was fortunate enough to be able to split up to coincide with my school schedule. I attended UW-Madison at the time. And then I had 3 years of probation following that, which I completed without incident. Since that time, I finished my studies at UW-Madison. I studied music and computer science. Was lucky enough and am lucky enough to still use both things I went to school for. I play the violin professionally, and I work in healthcare, quality improvement. And I'm married with 2 kids. I'm active in my community in a number of civic roles in my community. And the reasons I'm seeking a pardon is just to further deepen that participation in my community, to restore my civil rights, the ability to work as a poll worker or otherwise in elections, potentially run for office one day, and have my civil rights restored fully to participate in the fabric of our community. So that's the summary.
Thank you, Mr. Camps. Board members, any questions? Cindy.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Camps.
Good morning.
As part of the application process, applicants are encouraged to submit letters of support from neighbors, employers, friends for their application, and you chose not to submit any. Can you tell us why not?
I would say the level of professional success I've achieved would make it embarrassing for me to request that from my professional connections. Certainly, there are people I work with who would be willing to do that, but I chose not to.
And family, friends, neighbors? I mean, other than your work, people submit letters all the time from all kinds of people in their lives that help us see who the person is today rather than who they were back then.
Sure. Yeah, I think to this day I'm very ashamed of what took place 27 years ago and the consequences 25 years ago, and that's part of the reason I would say I'm here before you today, is to try to assuage some of that shame.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you, Mr. Camps. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Anasha Rhodes. Ms. Rhodes?
Hi. Well, I want to thank you guys for having me, all of y'all, for giving me the opportunity to explain the offense that I had did. Back in 2008, I was on drugs real bad, and a guy approached me, offered me $200 to buy a firearm, and I did. Went to the gun store, got the firearm that day. I was sentenced to, I called the police myself. I tried to cover it up and say the gun was stolen, but I ended up letting them know it wasn't and what I had did with it. And I got arrested. I was sentenced to 9 months in a house correction and 2 years supervision. And I completed the whole 9 months, completed the whole supervision without any problems. After that, I got out. I was helping take care of my mom. She was very ill. She's now deceased now, doing work at home health care, daycare. I got my license for all of that. And deeply sorry for what I did. I made a mistake. I was out there on drugs real bad. Once I got out of the house correction, completed my supervision, I never been on drugs again. I never looked back, never relapsed, none of that. And I have a 12-year-old son now, since everything happened. And I've been trying to do volunteer work and things like that at his school. And it's my case is having a real compact on me doing a lot of things, to volunteer at his school and things like that. So with that said, that's not the only reason why I'm seeking this pardon. I just really changed my life around, and I would like it to be dismissed off my records. I'm much better now. So, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Rhodes. We'll open up
Yes.
to questions from the board. Board members? Cindy?
Yeah. Good morning, Ms. Rhodes.
Good morning.
Congratulations on your sobriety from drugs and turning your
Thank
life
you.
around. Good
Thank
for
you.
you. Are you currently employed, Ms. Rhodes?
Well, I was employed a couple of months ago. I just had surgery on my hand in December. I was a daycare teacher from the age of newborn to 2 years old. And I had surgery on my hand, and I have severe back pain. So I just got awarded my Social Security, so I'm not able to work right now.
Okay. Well, good luck healing that
Thank
hand up.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Ms. Rhodes, the person in the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office who reviewed your application supports your application for a pardon.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
Governor Evers, will make the final decision, but what does that support mean to you?
When I got that letter in the mail last week, I was like, I didn't know what to do. It was awesome to me. So I just said I'm just moving further on up. I've been getting a lot of blessings, and things like that because I've been good. So, and that was an honor to me to get that in the mail. So, yeah, I was happy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Ms. Rhodes. Appreciate your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Next up, we have Devon Fleming. Mr. Fleming.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
How's everybody doing today?
Great.
All right. So I wrote everything down. So in 2009, at the age of 18, I was convicted of armed robbery. I take full responsibility for my action during that time in my life. As a result, I was sentenced to 5 years, which included 2 years in 2 years in prison, 3 years on probation. While incarcerated, I made the decision to begin changing my life. I obtained my high school equivalency diploma and served as an academic tutor to other inmates, trying to help them improve their life so when they get out, they could have a better future. I successfully completed my sentence, including all probation requirements, without incident. Since completing my sentence, I have made conscious decision to maintain a stable life. I got married, have twins. We bought a house, helping my wife build her business while trying to maintain work in my own business as well. I received a letter from the district attorney letting me know he don't support my decision, which I fully understand. It's disappointing, but I understand it. And I'm just here today trying to see if I could continue to grow myself without holding this big old elf over my head. Me and my wife do little things to try to give back since I used to work at the Milwaukee Rescue Mission and I learned more about homeless people. So we try our best to give back as much as we can by feeding them, making meals for them ourselves, and doing little things in the park for whoever come around, such as things like on Martin Luther King Day, Juneteenth, we throw barbecues. Whoever walk past, come through. We feed them, you eat, have fun. So we just try to maintain ourselves and try to make ways to reflect who I am today and not who I was. So.
Thank you, Mr. Fleming. We can open up to questions from the board. Board members? Judge Grummers.
Mr. Fleming, is it also the case that you have a juvenile armed robbery?
Correct.
Education? So you know that even if the governor were to pardon you here, you'd still have a felony adjudication on your record.
Yes.
So anything that would prohibit you, for example, you couldn't have a firearm, you might be prohibited from taking part in some federal help programs because of that juvenile adjudication. You understand that?
Yes.
So why do you want a pardon for this charge when you're still going to have the...
So I know I wouldn't be able to get rid of the juvenile case that easily, if possible, if I could get rid of it. But as an adult, the one I caught at the age of 18, to me, holds a little bit of higher standards to it because I was a little bit more older. And to me, this one carries, like, when people look at my record and they see something, this is the one that they view.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cindy?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Fleming.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being here with us today. You mentioned you used to work at the Milwaukee Rescue Mission. Where are you currently employed?
So right now I work at a place called Fastenal, and I also have my own personal training business that I'm growing.
Like physical fitness training?
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of work is the other place? What kind of work do you do?
Fastenal is basically a pick packaging company where we deliver hardware to other businesses that builds or need hardware for things.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fleming. I think that covers it from us. Appreciate your time and hope you have a good Friday.
Thank you. You have a nice one.
Thank you. Next up, we have Timothy Sylvius. Mr. Sylvius.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for this opportunity. I'm Tim Sylvius. My crime is armed burglary, which happened on November 5th, 1986. I went to a previous place of employment and to get money. I knew there was a petty cash box in the office. I was in a terrible state of mind. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was an alcoholic. I'd made some very bad choices. Things had spiraled out of control. I'd been fired for not showing up, on top of many other things going wrong, all due to my drinking. And I didn't really understand what alcoholism was. I was embarrassed about how badly I had screwed things up, and I didn't really feel like I deserved anyone's help, including my friends and family. And so I'd been driving around for about 2 or 3 days and pretty much an alcoholic haze. And I purchased a gun to kill myself. But I talked myself out of it and decided I'm going to make one more try. But I was like low on money, so I made another stupid decision and went to a place that I used to work. I used a key to get in the building, but the office with the petty cash was locked. I went out to my truck to get this gun that I had purchased to kill myself, and I used that to try to shoot the key slot in the door, which didn't work. I just pried the door open, got to the petty cash box, and was about to leave, and then I noticed that there was police in the driveway, so I panicked and I ran out the back door. My parents lived a few miles away, and so I made my way towards their house, and within a couple blocks of their house, I was apprehended. More or less gave myself up, told the police that I had the gun, and was arrested. I spent about 12 days in jail before my folks bailed me out, which was probably the best thing they could have done. It went to my first AA meeting in jail, and I haven't had a drink since. I was sentenced to 6 months in jail, stayed all but 30 days of it. I had a job by then and did work release, did 5 years probation, and I've had no other issues or violations since then. I completed 30-day inpatient alcoholism treatment. I did a year aftercare. I've attended regular AA meetings, and it's been almost 40 years since my last drink. I've been employed the whole time. I worked hard in the automotive equipment industry, started my own business with my wife in water-based automotive parts cleaning equipment. We built it into a very, very good business. We were able to sell it 2 years ago and retire. Raised a family, did foster care, adopted 2 special needs girls and stayed out of trouble. I coached youth wrestling, got involved in local fishing club. I was the treasurer of that for several years, where we raised money for fish stocking and some of the other local conservation projects. I'm currently retired, but I still advise the new owner of my old business. I'm still involved in the fish club and spending time with our grandkids. I think I should receive a pardon. I'm very sorry for what I did. Breaking into an office, stealing money. I look back now and that's a totally different person that did that. I'm not that same person today, but I regret it and I'm truly sorry. I would like to possibly run for public office, nothing major, maybe something in our local town government. Some of the people in it are aging, and I think I might be able to contribute to that. I'd also like to be able to teach my grandkids to hunt safely with a firearm and participate with them. We do archery now, which is fine, but I can't participate with them in firearm hunting. And if I don't run for public office or didn't get elected, I still might want to have a part-time job to fill some of my time. And I'd just like to not have this on my record. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Sylvius. Any questions from the board? Cindy.
Good morning, Mr. Sylvius. Congratulations on your sobriety. You might also win the best dressed retiree here today.
Thanks.
Do I have this right? Your crime was November of '86 and you weren't convicted until September of '88?
That's correct.
So what was that delay for? Do you know?
Well, my attorney, I believe at the time felt that the longer I stayed clean and sober before I got in front of the judge would be better.
Okay.
And it was probably all for the best because it really forced me to stay on the straight and narrow up to that point and have a solid recovery.
Yeah, knowing you were going to go to court and appear.
Yes.
Good for you. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Right. Thank you, Mr. Sylvius. Again, congratulations on your long period of sobriety. Appreciate your time with us today, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thanks. You all too.
Thank you. Next up, we have Michelle Williams. Miss Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Little nervous, but I didn't write anything down. I'm just gonna go from the top of my head with this. So if I miss anything, of course, I got my application in front of me just to reference. So I'm seeking a pardon because I caught a crime by the terminology of fraudulent writings by a corporate officer. At that time, I was 25 years old. I was working for Walmart as a cashier. I basically was logged in. I underrun products. That was a crime. It was totaling around $22, and basically the merchandise that was taken was about $800. I was trying to help a friend out, of course. Bad decisions. However, I did get convicted of that crime. I did take accountability. I got convicted of the crime. The crime was, I want to say I got convicted on June 26, 2007. Of course, this is over 17 years ago. I got probation, 2 years. I completed it successfully. I paid my restitution, and they ended it. After that, I moved back to Illinois, where I continued to work from the time I caught the felony. I was working while they had a warrant out for my arrest. So I didn't know that. I was a manager at Starbucks during the time when they got me and sent me to Wisconsin. I got expedited. So from that time on, once I got out, I played out. I took accountability because regardless of anything, I was the one a part of it. I was in control of that decision that I made that basically has hunted me ever since. So my accomplishments since then, I work as office administrative now. I've been in that position 2 years or more. Before then, I was still in the school system as one-on-one assistants, teacher assistants. I kind of scaled around even with the conviction, which I am very grateful for. I am also a tax preparer. I got my EFIN number, so I'm an ERO. I also have CDLs. So I have a lot of things that I accomplished to go around the conviction. With people that I knew that say no. So I had to keep going and try to figure out ways to survive because I made that poor decision. Why am I seeking the pardon? Why I think I should have the pardon, what I would do if I was to get the pardon. I am a mother of 3 children. I am the example for them. I want to further my education and scale my businesses. Just have what banks trust me, my coworkers, my peers, even my children for that matter to secure their future. So right now I'm really seeking a pardon because mentally it will definitely relieve my mental. It's still an emotional thing for me because that one thing kind of shattered my future. It didn't sit me down. I kept going, but it definitely was in the way of me getting further than where I'm at now. And that's my summary and my statement.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. We'll open up to questions from the board. Any questions? Cindy.
Good morning, Ms. Williams. You may have heard me ask previous applicants, but as part of the process, applicants are encouraged to submit letters of support for their application, and you chose not to submit any. Can you tell us why not?
No, I submitted letters of support. My principals, that should have been in my application. Let me see what you guys have. I submitted my certificates, with my Ethan summary showing that I submitted my CDL ID.
Yeah, those are documents. Those aren't letters of support.
No, I don't know if they didn't put it in there when they filed it, but yes, my principal wrote a letter of support. My pastor wrote a letter of support. I don't know why it's not in my application. I had like 3 or 4 letters of support.
Okay. Madam Chair will look for that and we'll try to sort it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All right. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Appreciate your time and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
You too. Okay.
Thank you. Next up, we have Terry Parker. Mr. Parker.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Mr. Parker. We can't see you quite yet.
There
we go.
How about now? It's coming up now?
Yeah.
Can you see me now, or is it blurry, or?
We can see you.
All right, hold on for a second here. Let me, how about the vocals? Can you hear me pretty? How about the vocals? Can you hear me pretty good now?
Yeah, there's like a bit of a clicking or a tapping noise in the background.
Oh, that was me. Yeah, that was me.
Okay. Oh, great. We'll go right ahead.
All right, I prepared my statement for today, this morning. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure being here with you all today. First of all, I want to acknowledge that I'm deeply remorseful for the hurt and pain I caused all those involved. In 1987, I did take and carry away property from a person. At the time, I was very intoxicated and not thinking straightfully. Someone in the area, I guess they saw the crime that I was committing and they called the police, and I was apprehended shortly after the incident. And at sentencing on 3/13 of 87, I was convicted and found guilty and placed on probation for a period of 3 years. Subsequently, my probation ended on 3/13 of 1990. I have fully taken responsibility for my past actions due to my decision making. I deeply regret them daily. I'm asking for a pardon because throughout the years, God has transformed my life, and I have contributed to society in many ways, such as working, volunteering at homeless shelters, and hosting community events. I take pride in helping people and inspiring men and women to live according to their God-given potential. I also served as associate pastor for 12 years at my local church, Unity Missionary Baptist Church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I went on to Bible college and then seminary at Liberty University, where I received my MDiv, my master's in divinity, with a focus in theology. In 2024, I graduated. Also, I plan to enter my doctor's, my DM program at Regent, which is a private Christian university in Virginia Beach, in the fall of this year, 2026. I'm also the founder and the pastor of Soldiers for the Cross Ministries and host of the weekly blog. I inspire men and women of God daily to live worthy of their callings. Also, moreover, the summer of 2024, I released my first book, His Love for You and His Love for Me, The God of Second Chances, available at Amazon, and you can also get it at Barnes & Noble. A pardon would restore my rights and increase my employment options, such as government jobs, and I would also regain my Second Amendment rights. Because I've not committed any crimes since my conviction in 87, I believe I should be pardoned for my past mistakes, considering my life has been completely transformed and I'm a new and better man because of God. Brother, I've been faithfully serving him and giving back to the community, as well as those in my circle of influence. And I will continue to do so all the days of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Board members, any questions? Cindy.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Parker. You heard me ask previous applicants, but you did not submit any letters of support with your application.
Yes.
Can you tell us why not?
I didn't know. My application was done at the spur of the moment. I was actually in Milwaukee at the time because I no longer lived there. I was actually in Milwaukee at that particular time that day, and I decided to do this. And Everything was just done so, sporadically that I really didn't have the time to get the people to write the letters that I need to be written as I was submitting them at that time. Like I said, everything was done. It was just sporadically. I just, decided to do it while I was there and then get it done. And that's why I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Parker? All right. Thank you, Mr. Parker. Appreciate your time today, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
You too. You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Next up, we have Javier Perez. Mr. Perez. Mr. Perez, do we have you with us in the Zoom? Okay, we will come back to Mr. Perez if he joins us. And in the meantime, go on to Juan Pinedo-Gaston. Mr. Pinedo-Gaston.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Thank you all for this opportunity to be here before you. My name is Juan Pinedo-Gaston. A little summary that I wrote it down so I won't forget anything. When I was 17 years old in 2001, I was walking down the street and saw a car with the key in the ignition and decided to take it and drive it as if it was my own. I was later arrested by the Cudahy Police Department where charges were issued. I decided out of my own selfish reasons, for whatever reason it was, I decided not to return for the scheduled court dates. Subsequently, a bench warrant was issued for my arrest. A couple of years passed. Then I was arrested and booked at the county jail located in Milwaukee. This time, I entered a guilty plea. I was sentenced to 60 days in the House of Corrections with Hubert privileges. I served my time at the CCC facility downtown, and after a few weeks, I was released on house arrest for the remainder of my sentence. I was also ordered to pay restitution and fees, which were fulfilled. Since my conviction, I married my high school sweetheart and mother to my 4 children, 2 whom are married now and building their own families, and 2 whom are still at the home. I do have a 6-year-old grandson. In 2007, I obtained a GED, all while working odd jobs such as kitchen jobs and temporary agency jobs. And I was able to do that with my wife. In 2008, I got the opportunity to work at a meat packing company, which was my first steady job in forever. And then I was able to attend night school at the MATC and located in Oak Creek, which I completed in 2013 and received an automotive technician diploma. I began my career at Goodyear Commercial Tires in 2015 as a service technician, eventually worked my way up and am currently serving as a service manager. Also in 2015, which was a very hard year for me, my mother passed away, and I began attending a local church with a friend, Desatar Ministries, located in the south side of Milwaukee. I eventually entered an online college program to study theology. And in 2023, I earned my BA in ministerial theology. Although I vacated the youth leadership role, I no longer serve in the youth program. I remain an active leader in the church and am awaiting my next assignments. I hope that I have shown that I have become a productive member of my community, and with the help of God, first and foremost, my wife and all others that have been a positive influence, so I can show that I have turned my life around. I would like to receive a pardon because it would help me. It will help eliminate a big barrier to potential future promotions and opportunities in my career. Me being a manager in the company that I work for, I have been involved in some of the interviewing process of candidates, and I have seen very good candidates turned away because of criminal records. And so my thought is, you know, I have this hanging over my head, and if I want to move up in management and provide for my family, I think this would be a good opportunity for me, not only for me, but for other people that depend on me. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to the parties involved in this incident for the inconvenience I caused them. I never got the opportunity to do that in court, so I would like to take this opportunity to do this. And to the Pardon Advisory Board, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Pinedo-Gaston. Questions from the board? Cindy.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
The district attorney who reviewed your case for Milwaukee County supports your application for a pardon. Now, you know Governor Evers will make the final decision, but what does that support mean to you?
When I received the letter, I was to be honest, I was shocked that it was a nice note. It is shocking because they have a stigma. They want to put people in jail and in prison, and this shows another side of the system. It shows that they want actually people to be rehabilitated, and it brings hope. It brings hope to the community. So I'm grateful for that.
Well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pinedo-Gaston. I appreciate your time today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Ryan Liebert. Mr. Liebert?
Yes. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I want to thank you first off for the opportunity to speak with each of you and answer any questions. Starting out, 23 years ago, I made a very stupid decision and embezzled from my employer, Madison Area Technical College at the time. Between 2003 and 2007, I produced several unauthorized checks written out in my name, cashed at my bank, ended up stealing, embezzling just short of $35,000. I left MATC in 2007, and that's when my theft stopped. Well, it was discovered, and I was formally charged with a Class G felony for theft in a business setting. I accepted responsibility for my crime at that time. I paid, fully repaid everything before being convicted, as well as an additional $32,000 in legal and investigative fees that were incurred by MATC. I received probation. I received 4 years probation. During probation, I had no issues. I met with my probation officer. I did everything that was asked of me. I paid all the fees associated with it. I paid any other fines that were levied on me. And in 3 years, I was released. I'll say for good behavior, essentially. I regret what I did. I respected what MATC did and the community that they served. And I find that they're a very useful organization, something that we need in the community. And what I did, I fear impacted their mission, and I regret that deeply. What I have done since my conviction is I changed my life completely. Got out of accounting and changed careers, went into computers, basically going out and helping other people support accounting systems. And it eventually led me to starting my own business. Now, it sounds great, but starting my own business was because I couldn't join certain firms, which is one of the reasons I'm asking for a pardon. Is I would apply, I'd get so far down the interview road, and the minute the background check came about, I was immediately disqualified or or told, no, you can't have the job. So it eventually, this job or this conviction led me to start my own business, and a successful business. My conviction was my first and only infraction. So I've kept my nose clean this entire time, and I intend to keep it clean. Rededicated my life to my family. Although my business takes me away from the family for weeks at a time, I leave my weekends open to spend time with my grandkids, watch them compete in sports, babysit as needed, help the kids with stuff around their house. And if I have free time, I take in some golf. Being convicted made me realize what I have to lose. You know, I listened to a number of people this morning and what they had to go through, and I will say I got lucky with the probation. And I'm grateful for how that turned out, but it makes me realize what I had to lose and really regret my decisions that I made in the past, even more so today than this past couple of years. So why am I asking for a pardon? To help with business, to help with employment. That's my primary reason. I don't intend to go back into accounting. I have made the switch to IT support in consulting, and I intend to stay there. But every time I go out and try to get a client, they do background checks. And sometimes I get through and I get hired, and a lot of times I'm not. And I got to tell you, it just turns my stomach when I submit these bids and wait for the results. You know, am I going to get this job? Am I not going to get this job? And I'd like to have the pardon to make that easier, make me feel better, make them feel better. I protect myself, I protect my clients with bonds. The ones that have hired me, they know what I've done, and it's worked out in both of our. So I'm hoping that the pardon helps with that. And then I have personal reasons. One is to ease travel restrictions. I heard somebody mention earlier about Airbnb. I had the same experience. We were doing a family vacation, and I signed up for an Airbnb house and was immediately booted from their system. They did a background check, which I didn't even realize they had done. So we lost the ability to rent a house for a family vacation. And then the other part is traveling. My wife and I are trying to go to every NHL rink, taking a game there. And we have a number of games in Canada, which we haven't been able to do yet. So just being able to ease the travel restrictions would be nice. And then the other part is my grandsons. There was a hunting tradition in our family, passed down from my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. And my grandsons, my oldest is 12, and he is ready to take hunter safety. His father doesn't hunt. They don't own any guns. So it would be nice to be able to go with him and teach him gun safety and to bring him along, which I can't do at this time, either of it. So he's anxious, and I'm not sure how we're going to handle that. So that's it.
Great. Questions from the board? All right. I don't think we have anything for you. Thank you, Mr. Liebert. I appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
All right. Thank you. You guys enjoy your weekend as well.
Thank you. Next up, we have Charles Turner. Mr. Turner. Mr. Turner, do we have you with us in the Zoom?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Can you see me?
We can't see you. We can try prompting you to turn on video and see if that helps.
Okay. Start video.
There we go.
All right. Okay. Hi. Good morning. My name is Charles Turner. Thank you for giving me the opportunity this morning to plead my case with you. 36 years ago, when I was 17 years old, a freshman in high school, I was with a friend, and we went to visit another friend, and during route on the city bus, we were approached by an older gentleman that neither one of us knew. And he told us that he wanted us to help him get some of his property back. We told him we didn't want to, but then he turned around and said, I have a gun in my bag. You're going to help me. So at 17 years old, we figured that we might as well go ahead and help him instead of getting shot or hurt or whatnot. So we got off the bus with him, and he went to somebody's house and went inside and told me to stay outside and keep watch. So that's what I did. He took my friend upstairs, and they came back down a few moments later with TVs, VCRs, microwaves, and he gave me one of the things to carry, and we started walking down the street. And that's when the police showed up and arrested all three of us. That's pretty much what happened. I don't remember what the sentence was exactly, but I do remember being on probation for 3 years, and I did a few months in the House of Correction. Since that point, I had odd jobs, and then I went to truck driving school, got my CDL, purchased a truck, became an owner-operator, been doing that now for 22 years. Purchased a home for 20 years, and I've been married for 22 years. I have 4 children, 10 grandkids, and this is causing me to have a lot of issues at work where I drive flatbed, so I'm not able to get in certain areas, certain government contracts where we haul steel into certain areas. We haul military vehicles to certain bases, so I can't get onto the base. So it costs me more money to pay somebody else to go into the base for me to deliver my product once I get there. So this is really causing me a lot of problems. Let's see, what else should I say? I would like to get this pardon because I figure it would give me another opportunity to open more doors for me to go into more places to deliver products. I can get into Canada and deliver there because I had to turn down a lot of loads for Canada too because they won't let me in because I'm a felon. I like to own a gun so I can go hunting with friends. To turn those opportunities down too. What else? I don't know. I guess that's pretty much it.
That sounds good, Mr. Turner. We'll open it up to any questions from the board. Board members? Eric.
Yes, sir.
All right. I know this is an older case and it's not the one that we're considering today, but it appears in 1997 you had a conviction for misdemeanor disorderly conduct with a use of dangerous weapon modifier. Without using any names, could you tell the board more about that?
Okay. I think I remember that case. It was a person that I was married to, my first wife. I might as well go ahead. And I was doing some work in the house, cutting some material to repair some stuff, and she started arguing with me from the back, and she grabbed me from the back and spent me around. So because my back was too towards her, so she spent me around, and I had a knife in my hand, and then somebody saw it and called the police and said I had a weapon. So it was charged with disorderly conduct. But
All right.
I'm no longer married to her now.
All right. Thank you. And then I also see that you completed anger management. What did you learn from doing that?
To try to keep a cool head and stay focused on tasks and not to let other people talk to you to get you riled up to do things you don't really want to do.
All right. Appreciate your answers.
Thank you. Any other questions? Cindy.
Yep. Good morning, Mr. Turner. The person
Good
in the
morning.
Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office who reviewed your application supports your application for a pardon. Now, as you know, Governor Evers will make the final decision, but what does that support mean to you?
It means a great deal to me because that makes me feel like somebody believes that I can do better and to give me a second chance on closing previous chapters in my life.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you, Mr. Turner. That covers it from us. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your Friday.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We'll do one more call for Mr. Perez, Javier Perez. Okay, I don't think we have Mr. Perez. So at this point, I will entertain a motion from board member to move into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85 sub 1 sub a sub d and sub f for purposes of deliberations concerning specific cases, considering specific applications, and considering financial, medical, social, and or personal histories of specific persons. Do I have a motion? Judge Kremers, second from Anthony. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion carries. We will move into closed session, and board members, everyone, if you're just joining us in the Zoom, we're going to give everyone a minute to get in and get connected. We will start very shortly. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're just joining us, we are going to get everyone into the Zoom, give everyone a minute to get connected, and we will start shortly. Okay, I think that's everyone. So good afternoon, all. My name is Mel Barnes. I'm Chief Legal Counsel to Governor Evers and the chair of his Pardon Advisory Board. I'm going to introduce my fellow board members. I'll go through a little bit of housekeeping about how today's hearing will work, and then we'll get started hearing from all of you. So with us today, we have board member Anthony Cooper Sr., who is the CEO of Focused Interruption, an organization dedicated to interrupting the devastating cycle of gun violence with the help of the community. Mr. Cooper received a pardon from Governor Evers in January of 2021. We have board member Judge Jeffrey Kremers, who is AG Call's appointee to this board. He served as a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge for 26 years, including as chief judge for 7 of those years before retiring in 2018. And we have board member Cindy O'Donnell, who served as the Deputy Secretary for the Department of Corrections under Governors Thompson, McCallum, and Doyle. She served as a division administrator under Attorneys General Lautenschlager and Van Hollen. And we have board member Myrna Warrington, who is the Director of Vocational Rehabilitation on the Menominee Indian Reservation. She is a U.S. Army vet and has been a member of the Menominee Tribal Legislature for over 15 years. And finally, we have board member Professor Eric Liberatore, who teaches paralegal students from around the world in the University of Cincinnati's online program. He previously served as a supervising attorney at Disability Rights Wisconsin and in the governor's office. So with that, I'll just go through a little bit about how today's hearing will work. So first, please keep in mind today's hearing is being live streamed via YouTube. We'll ask you to keep your camera off and yourself muted until it is your turn to be heard by the board. That will help us ensure that we can focus on the person who's presenting and get good audio. If you do run into any IT issues with the Zoom, don't worry about it. Someone from staff will reach out and try to help you troubleshoot. If it means we need to come back to you because Zoom isn't cooperating when it's your turn, we certainly can do that. Otherwise, we're going to call on folks in the order listed in the agenda and open meeting notice. Each applicant will have 5 minutes total with the board. We're going to ask you to spend the first 3 of those 5 minutes speaking to the questions that we sent you in advance of today's hearing. As a reminder, those are to first, please give us a brief summary of the offense you're seeking a pardon for and how your sentence went. We're not here to retry the crime. You don't need to minimize your involvement. We just want to hear from you in your own words what happened. Second, to give us a brief summary of what you've done since the completion of your sentence, including community involvement and employment, essentially where you're at now and how your life is different than the time of your offense. And third, and finally, a brief statement about why you're seeking a pardon and why you think the governor should grant you one. Once you're done spending about 3 minutes speaking to those questions, we'll open it up to any follow-up questions the board may have for you. Don't read too much into it either way. If we do or don't have questions for you, we spent quite a bit of time with your application materials before today's hearing, and as you know, those are very thorough. If we do have questions though, we want to make sure we get to them so we can make a thoughtful recommendation to the governor. Once you're done answering any questions that we have for you, you're welcome to sign off and leave the Zoom hearing. And once everyone's been heard, the board will meet in closed session and decide whether or not to recommend your application for a pardon to the governor. You need a majority support of board members present in order for your application to be forwarded to Governor Evers, who will then make the final decision about whether or not to grant you a pardon. Either way, you'll be notified about the outcome of today's hearing in about 1 to 2 months from today. We know you've been really patient just to get to hearing day, so we thank you for giving us just a little bit more time to get our recommendations to the governor. With that, we'll go ahead and get started with our first applicant this afternoon, which is Jennifer Lee. Miss Lee?
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you. We can't see you quite yet.
Can you see me now?
Can't. We'll try prompting you to turn on your video and see if that helps. Here we go.
Perfect. Good morning. My name is Jenny Lee. Thank you for having me here today. In July of 1998, I was sentenced on a charge of employment-related theft. The judge issued a 6-year state sentence, meaning I would not serve time as long as I met certain conditions, including completion of an AODA program. I was not able to do that on the outside, and as a result, my sentence was revoked. I was incarcerated in September of 1998. While I was incarcerated, I made a different choice. I completed the AODA program I had failed to finish before. I worked as a part of a groundskeeping team, maintaining the facility grounds, which I really took pride of. I was released in March of 2002 and placed on parole through April of 2004. I was ordered to pay $16,000 in restitution. Which was paid before I was released from parole 2 years later. Since my release, I've spent over 2 decades building my life, a life I'm genuinely proud of. My first job was with a nonprofit whose mission was to support and empower adults with disabilities and other barriers. I started in logistics and worked my way up to senior inventory analyst. From there, within the same organization, I moved to a program coordinator role at a drop-in center, serving adults with mental health disabilities. That work changed me. It was there that I discovered my love for numbers and for leading people. In 2013, I earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree. And that same year, I joined the company where I currently work today, a chemical and adhesive distribution company, where I manage both the field and remote team in the vendor management sector. For the past 10 years, I've also volunteered my time with a community program that adds health and safety precautions and modifications to homes of elderly residents. Things like grab bars, ramps, and other precautions that help keep them safe and independent. I live in a small town with my partner and I help him run his family's business, a business that his family has operated for 122 years. I'm sober. And in 2001, I became a mother to my daughter, who is now 14 years old. Since becoming a mother, it's been deeply important to me to model good character for my daughter, to show her what it looks like to face her mistakes, take responsibility, and build something meaningful from them. When the time is right, I'd like to share my story with her. Not just the hard parts, but the complete story. The part where I made a serious mistake, where I served my time and I paid back every dollar I owed. Part where I spent the next 20 plus years living with integrity. I want to be able to tell her a story with a pardon at the end of it. That would mean everything to me. There are practical things I'm unable to do as a person with a felony conviction. I'd like to be able to volunteer in school settings. I'd like to explore fostering and someday adopting a child. I'd also like to host exchange students, things that this conviction currently makes very difficult. They're not small dreams, they're natural steps. of life spent in service to others. I'm not the person I was in 1998. That was nearly 28 years ago. I've been sober, employed, and giving back to my community ever since. I asked for this pardon not because I'm trying to erase what happened, but because I believe more than I've earned the opportunity to move forward. Thank you so much for your time and your consideration today.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Questions from the board? Judge Kremers.
Good afternoon, Ms. Lee. Can you tell me, it sounded like you said you paid back the $16,000 in restitution in 2 years. How were you able to do that?
When I was released from parole, I lived with my mother. I worked full-time, I worked part-time, and I went to school.
And paid $16,000 in restitution?
Over $600 a month for those 2 years, yes.
Okay. That's my only question. Thank you.
Other questions? Cindy.
Good afternoon, Ms. Lee. Do I have this right that you wrote a letter to the owner of the business confessing, which is what led to the police contacting you? Is that how that went?
Yes, I admitted guilt, yes.
Not just admitted guilt. I mean, was your crime undetected until that point? Or what prompted you to write a letter to the business owner?
I felt guilty and I knew what I was doing was wrong.
Okay. You still worked there?
Oh, I do not know.
No. At the time you wrote the letter, you were still.
Oh, yes. I was employed by, yes.
Did you have a conversation with the owner and then he asked you to put it into writing, or how did that come about?
I had a conversation with the owner and then he had someone come and I gave that person a statement.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions from the board? Ms. Lee, one thing on here, did you file for bankruptcy in 2025?
I did.
Okay, and that's discharged now?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then are you current on your taxes from 2010?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the board? All right, that covers it. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Next up, we have Jerry Pete. Mr. Pete.
Can you hear me?
We can. We can't see
okay.
you.
Can you?
There we are.
There
Yes.
we go. Okay. Let me get this out the way. How you doing?
Great. Thank you.
All right. Waiting on you guys. Should I start or?
Yeah, you
what?
can go right ahead, Mr. Pete.
Oh, okay. I'm asking for a pardon for a 1983 conviction, a 1986 conviction, a 1991 conviction, and a 1999 conviction. The 93 conviction deals with the party to a crime of burglary. The 1986 deals with a felon in possession. And a 1990-91 deals with a delivery of controlled substance. And a 1999 deals with another delivery of a controlled substance. I don't have all the cases right in front of me right now that go down a list, but I kind of feel that them are the ones that I'm asking for the pardon for. And since my release from prison on August 11, 2012, I worked for K&E Construction doing demolition work, approximately 9 months with Legal Aid of Society. I believe in 2013, 2014, I started working with Menards and on 85th and Brown Deer in building material and delivery department for approximately 2.5 years, all the while working with private attorneys at the Milwaukee County Courthouse as a freelance paralegal. Them particular attorneys would be Richard Voss, Michael Steinley, Joel Rosenthal, and Bradley Block out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. My duties consist of meeting with clients, researching case law, interviewing clients, writing up briefs, delivering subpoenas to clients, notifying clients of court dates and attorneys of trial dates, not to mention filing motions and pleadings. After leaving Menards, I worked at Advanced Auto Part in 2016, and still to this present, I still work there as a delivery driver and a sales representative. I'm married to Tina Pete. We've been married to her since 2004, but we have children dating back to 1984 and 7 grandchildren. I have an associate degree in business sales and marketing out of Lake Superior College. I have an associate degree in business in paralegal from Blackstone Career Institute and a high school diploma out of Michigan State Board of Education. It should also be noted, since being released from prison, I have been a vice president of the Friendship Club Incorporated for recovering drug addicts at 2245 West Fond du Lac Avenue, and now I am now their legal advocate. I would like to think and believe, due to me not having any police contact or arrested since being released from prison, and the fact that it took me over a decade to even ask for a pardon until I established myself in the community once again, I think it would be fair for the board to show me a discretionary act of forgiveness. I believe I have shown exclusionary rehabilitation that has now awarded me the right to hold public office as alderman, relief from employment barriers, and last but not least, restore the rights of to bear arms that I once lost when I was a felon for work purposes and home intruders under our castle doctrine law. I have definitely lived a law-abiding life for a significant period of time after I've been released. This pardon restores key rights lost due to my prior convictions. Relief would relieve me from legal barriers or obtaining professional license and gaining employment. But more importantly, it would serve as an official acknowledgement by the state of a personal growth by providing me a clean slate effect. I am 63 years of age. The likelihood of me committing the acts I did in the past is very, very low. That can cause me to lose my rights. And I thank you for hearing me out this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Pete. We'll open it up to questions from the board. Board members, Judge Kremers.
Were you convicted of a burglary in 1988?
I don't recall a burglary in 1988, sir. I recall the burglary in 1982, 83 in Elm Grove, Wisconsin. I don't recall one in 88.
Okay. And then do you also have a federal conviction for possession of a firearm?
That was with it. They added that in. It was with the delivery of a controlled substance. That was all like tied in together.
But you got convicted in federal court, yes?
Yes, I did for that conviction, correct.
Because that one you were under supervision until 2018, right?
I guess I believe that was so, but I was released in 2012.
Okay. Did you go to federal prison?
I did, sir.
Okay. And you understand that even if the governor were to grant your pardon application today for the felonies that you were talking about, you'd still have the federal felony on your record.
That's in the making, sir, as we speak now. I already have that sent in now upon this hearing here.
You mean to the President of the United States?
The President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you.
I would think that if this one goes, I'm sorry to cut you off. I would think that if this one goes through, he would have no problem giving me that one.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Cindy?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Pete. As part of the application process, applicants are encouraged to submit letters of support, and you chose not to submit any. Can you tell us why not?
I didn't really have the people that I really wanted to send me some, because I had many family members, but I didn't want family members. I wanted somebody outside the family member to do it for me, but a few people just chose to just lay back on it. So I didn't want to argue with them. I didn't want to do anything like that. I could have had the attorneys do it, but I didn't work with them daily. I worked with them on contracts. So I could have asked them, but I basically really wanted to do this all on my own and take responsibility for myself. I didn't want nobody to boost me to get this part. If I get it, I want to know that I done it on my own. I proved myself, and I need the board to see that.
Well, I'll just say this for others who are listening, that it's of great benefit to the board to get letters from others to show us how you've moved on in your life and how you are today, rather than how you were at the time you committed your offenses. So we find them to be very valuable. And I'll say that not for your case because you chose not to submit any, but for others who might be listening. I just want to make that clear. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Pete. That covers it from us then. Appreciate your time and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, next up we have Akim Rashad. Mr. Rashad. Mr. Rashad, do we have you with us in the Zoom? Okay. We'll come back to Mr. Rashad if he joins us, and in the meantime, go on to Brandon Flynn. Mr. Flynn.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you guys for this opportunity. I do appreciate it. I'm asking for a pardon for my transgressions that happened back in 2016 for a Class G felony, theft in a business setting. You know, I was trying to think of the briefest way to make this for introing, but you know, with everything that's gone on in my life in the last now 10 years since, almost 10 years since this happened. You know, at that time I was young, I was being influenced. I didn't drink much growing up at all. I actually maybe had a glass of wine with my mom or my dad or whatever, but you know, I didn't do any drugs, didn't do anything like that. And then, you know, had bad influences, which got me into trouble. I took advantage of a situation that I'm really regretful of. I mean, being in a position of a supervisor at WGNR and taking advantage of that, knowing the situation. I lived in torment for over a year doing the stuff that I did, which was it started with pillows, then it went to a chair, to a bed, and sold a few more things. I was deep in debt. I was spending money extremely irresponsibly, going out to the bars, doing whatever. You know, I never did many bad things in my life, you know, and I pushed out most of my family. It was literally the toughest part of my life, and I regret every moment of it. I got arrested, and 4 days, I'm sorry if I cry here, but 4 days after I got arrested and got out of jail, I think it was actually 5 days. Thankfully for my family, especially my uncle Patrick Flynn, Dr. Patrick Flynn, I turned my life around. I'm proud to say it. You know, I tried with an attorney to see if I can get my felony G to an H so I could go for expungement. It took 2 years of going back and forth until my sentencing. My sentencing then was, I want to thank the Honorable Mark Hammer for the sentence I got, because in those 2 years that I got to be able to pay back the restitution for everything, have the leadership of someone like my uncle who led me and gave me opportunity, of which to this day I'm proud of where I am and what I've done. I'm currently sitting in my office of part of building that I own. You know, I own a business that helps marketing businesses all around the country actually. And after that 2 years, I got a sentencing. I got no jail time, which I was extremely thankful of. Almost all of the people in a company that I work for, which is called the Wellness Way, a lot of doctors from around the country that I either managed their advertising, their money, their credit cards, all things dealing with money. To this day, now I am in charge of all of the money for our family and our legacy, including my uncles. I run all the financial, I'm a CFO essentially. I don't have that title, but that's essentially what I do is I lead the direction of our company with the finances. I'm also the director of marketing here. That was my main job that got me to where I am. After that sentencing, I had probation. I kept clean. I don't drink. I never was like even a huge drinker back then, but I don't do any of that stuff. I have a family now. I have my beautiful wife Rebecca and 3 kids. I can't be more proud of where I am today. I could tell you, I could talk for 50 minutes or more on this stuff. I had to keep narrowing it down. But, the main thing I really want to ask for this part, and the reason why, is just to be able to show my children, whatever hardship you go through, you can overcome it. I'm sorry. I take this really seriously, what I did. And I didn't let it affect me. I kept moving forward. I stayed positive. I kept working on myself, personal growth. That's all we believe in here. And I'd really like to be able to go hunting with my family. I'd really like to be able to have the opportunity to have extra protection in a household. You never know. Yeah, and I appreciate your guys' time.
Thank you, Mr. Flynn. Questions from the board? Judge Gummers.
Good afternoon, sir. Do you have a tax warrant against you in the name of Brandon Gross in Oneida County?
I do right now. I'm working on, I had some issues with a previous accountant that, I don't know. I'm working with attorney Matthew McLaughlin out of Milwaukee to figure out whatever the situation is right now. I honestly didn't know what was going on with my business and my taxes. I trusted someone that it didn't work out. And now I'm in a situation where I am working with somebody to pay money back if I need be and things like that. I'm still early on in figuring that out with him.
Why is the tax warrant in the name of Brandon Gross?
So my original name was Brandon J. Gross. After working with my uncle, whose last name is Flynn, my dad pushed me out a little bit afterwards, and I had a really long conversation with my uncle, and I felt that I was more part of this other side of the family than I was part of my Gross family. My Gross family, I love them all, but they didn't help me. They didn't want to. They didn't. And I didn't ask for help really, but I never got support from them afterwards for a long time. It took me almost 6-7 years to get a relationship back with my father, because he took it really hard, of which I would have as well. And they said some really mean things to me, and I didn't want to be a part of that family anymore. So I actually changed my name to Brandon Gross Flynn. I moved my last name to my middle name, still in honor of that side of the family. That's simply what it was. I feel more of a Flynn than I am a Gross.
All right, thank you.
Cindy?
Good afternoon, Mr. Flynn. So back to the crime for which you're seeking the pardon. So you were working at a company in the warehouse, and
Yep.
the thefts went on for 2 years. Is that right?
Yeah, it wasn't many items in that 2 years. It was very drawn out.
Well, it was $20,000 worth of items.
Yeah, the beds costed the most. It was Tempur-Pedic mattresses. So it wasn't like frequently all the time. It was I couldn't tell you how many it was for sure, but it was under 7 or 6 items that I took. But those items, they're Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Those are expensive, and that's what I was selling.
So about a half dozen occasions over 2 years of the thefts.
Correct, ma'am. Yeah, about that. I don't remember fully, to be honest. It's pretty hazy, but yeah, about that.
I'm just curious at why you think you weren't you got away with it once or twice, and why you just didn't stop at that point. Why did you let this continue for 2 years?
I was, like I said, I was done with my money. I was scared, and I was at these loan sharks, these payday fast loans. And you get calls all the time from these guys, and I keep getting more money, and you get in this revolving circle. And like I said, because I wasn't doing it frequently, it was always when I didn't have anything else to do, and I didn't want to ask for help because I was stubborn and not thinking smartly. Didn't ask my family. Like I said, I pushed most of my family out. I was literally alone for almost the last 4 months of before I got caught, and I only. What's funny is the last one that I stole was in my head. I was already going to move on to my family company, which is the Wellness Way. I was literally about to leave. It was a dumb thing, and I'm like, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm paid off with some of this other stuff. And I got caught that night, and I confessed everything right away to the main manager because I literally told him I couldn't live with it anymore. It was seriously the darkest time of my life. I never did it to. I only did it when I needed it, I guess is the best way to say it. And not saying that was right whatsoever.
Okay. So you get 2 years probation. You had an early discharge after you
Yes,
paid
ma'am.
off your restitution?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And it looks like you discharged completely from supervision in 2020. You agree with
Correct.
that? Okay.
Yep.
Thank
And then I
you.
got married that year. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions from the board? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Flynn. That covers it from us.
Thank you,
Appreciate your
guys.
help, and I hope you have a good weekend.
You too, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we have Mr. Rashad in the Zoom now. Mr. Rashad, is that you on the phone? Mr. Rashad, if you're talking, we can't hear you. You might need to press *6. Mr. Rashad, are you speaking? We can't hear you. Okay, we're gonna have someone reach back out to you because it seems like we don't have audio working quite yet. So for now, we will hear from Latoya Curtis. Miss Curtis.
Hi. Tell you a little what's going on. I opened a daycare in 2009, even though I had never owned a business before. I was married at the time with 2 children, was taking care of my sick uncle who passed away in 2011. At the time, I began filing false claims in order to benefit clients and myself and coworkers. I thought that I was not hurting anyone but myself, but since it was my personal taxes, but now I realize that I was wrong and how many people I hurt and affected. I served 2 years in prison and on probation. Since then, I made this mistake 15 years ago. I have not had any criminal charges. I have not been able to advance in my career as a CNA. I worked 2 healthcare jobs over 50 years. I mean, 50 hours a week to provide for my family. I also been a volunteer for over 7 years with the Milwaukee Brewers, the Community Foundation, giving back to my community in many other ways. She is the president of the Brewers. She even wrote me a support letter. I'm also a proud mother of 2 children and 2 amazing grandchildren. I'm asking for this pardon because this felon has prevented me from becoming an RN. I have got time turned away and not hired for jobs due to this. And this partner will allow me to be better to provide for my family and my community.
Thank you, Ms. Curtis. Questions from the board? Eric.
Good afternoon. At the time that you were discharged, it appears you still owed restitution, and from what I can see, that is now at collections. Could you provide a status update on the restitution for us?
Yeah, I did reach out to the clerk so that we can set up arrangements for the restitution.
So you now have a payment plan?
It's been so long ago that they're having problems when we reached out to them to even locate the restitution.
Okay. Do you know about what the remaining balance is, or were you not able to find that out?
I wasn't able to find that out.
Okay. Thank you.
Judge
You're
Crammers.
Separate and apart from that, separate and apart from the restitution, it looks like there was a delinquent tax warrant issued in 2025 for $10,000. Is that right?
I have a garnishment, so they take out $250 a pay period.
Okay. And it also looks like you've filed for bankruptcy like 12 times or something. Does that sound about right?
Not as much as 12, but yes, I have filed for bankruptcy. And if you look on there, you'll also see that I've been paying off a lot of the state of Wisconsin taxes and the IRS for some of the things that I did in my past.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand why you keep running into these financial situations where you have to file for bankruptcy.
Because the payments are high. I was at one time paying almost $800. I'm only a CNA, so I'm not able to make as much. And I was in school putting myself through the classes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Ms. Curtis. That covers it from us. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, you as well.
Thanks. Next, we have Marquis Williams. Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you see me?
We can see and hear you.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see myself, so I didn't know. Give me 1 second. That is so weird not being able to see myself. Okay, maybe because it's a live stream. Hello, thank you for having me today. It's definitely been a long journey to get to this point, but I am thankful for the opportunity to be here. My name is Marquis Williams. Seeking a pardon for a felony conviction from 2004 for theft of movable property while I was in college. This incident involved a wrestling teammate of mine whose items I initially took as a prank and moved into my dorm room. But I definitely considered it wrongly as a prank when he discovered that the items were missing and confronted me, and I chose to lie rather than tell the truth. And by the time I tried to correct the situation, law enforcement got involved, and it escalated pretty much beyond my control. I definitely take responsibility for what I did. I was wrong, including my decision to be dishonest in that moment. And as a part of that sentence, I was placed on probation and required to pay restitution, both of which I successfully completed before my probation ended. That was only an 18-month. I think it got extended for like a few months after that because my restitution wasn't paid. But once I paid the restitution, I was off probation. That experience definitely has stayed with me and shaped how I approach my life and taking accountability and decision making. Since that time, I've spent practically, it's been a little bit now, over 20 years, trying to put my life on, continue to keep my life on track and make sure that I've spent time for my personal growth. I've had no further criminal contact. I continued my education. I've earned 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice psychology with the minor in psychology. And I also have a associate's degree in culinary arts and business. And I have a project management certification from Cornell University. Professionally, employed with Waste Management as a project manager, where I currently support operational coordination across multiple teams within our company, just to deliver services amongst different customers and platforms. In addition to my corporate America work, I am a chef, certified chef, and I do have a nonprofit that feeds into that. It is called Pharaoh's Kids. It's a nonprofit organization focused on supporting at-risk youth and foster youth as they transition into adulthood. My goal with that nonprofit is to provide mentorship, life skills, and real opportunities for young people who need guidance and stability through mental health support, culinary skills, and financial management. I'm also a father to my beautiful 14-year-old daughter, and being a parent has definitely been growth for myself as a man, as a human being, and of course as a father, because you learn as you go as a parent. You can't really have a mentor for being a parent. You just have to go and live. I also plan to adopt in the future, so being able to take part in being blessed with the pardon will definitely help me be able to ascertain the different things that I need in life. Because of this conviction, it has limited certain things that I want to do in life as far as licensing and different things like that. But being able to get this pardon would definitely help me get those licenses and certifications in my field to be able to grow my career and grow my nonprofit and ascertain certain goals as a parent and a foster parent as well. So I just want to make sure that it's known that over these last 20 years, I've definitely worked to ensure that that mistake remained a one-time incident. I've been committed to taking full accountability for my life and everything that I do in my service and impact in the community. And I also, just ask for the opportunity to move forward. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Questions from the board? All right, I think you covered everything then. Thank you, Mr. Williams. We appreciate your time and hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Rashad, I believe we have you back in the Zoom. Should we see if we can get your audio working? Mr. Rashad, if you can hear me, if you can press *6 to try unmuting. Okay, we'll keep working with you, Mr. Rashad, and see if we can get that going. And in the meantime, Justin Schultz is next. Mr. Schultz. We can see you, Mr. Schultz. You look unmuted. Can you try talking?
Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Awesome. Good afternoon to the Pardon Advisory Board. I am seeking a pardon for a felony I received when I was 18 years old for the manufacture with intent to deliver. That's a THC charge. I was of the impression that through the sentencing process that I would receive a deferred prosecution, so the felony would go away when I was done with everything that I had to do. And I realized that wasn't going to happen, and I received a felony and served jail time. I try to work hard every day. I have a full-time job in the road construction industry, which I've held for 25 years. I am a proud union member. I have a family which I support and enjoy going on vacations with as often as possible. Although I've had a few stumbles along the way, I feel that I am a strong, reliable individual that is willing to answer the call if needed. I've had this felony hanging over my head for 25 years now. It'd be nice to start a new chapter in my life, be able to vote, go on vacation abroad, and share new experiences with my family. Possibly put this behind me. Thank you for your consideration for this pardon.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. I'll open up to questions in just a second, but before I do, I want to touch on something that you just mentioned and you put in your application as well, about wanting a pardon so that you could vote. So in Wisconsin, you can generally vote as a felon once you're off paper, you've completed your whole sentence. So I would encourage you to look into that regardless of the outcome of today's hearing.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, but with that, I'll open it up for questions. Board members, Eric?
Good afternoon. I see you're joining us from your car. It looks like you had some more recent traffic ticket type situations. Just want to confirm that everything's all cleared up with the driver's license.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge Kremers, did you have something as well?
That was my question.
Okay. And Mr. Schultz, just to follow up on that a little bit, it looks like you had a 2016, not OWI, but a controlled substance driving. Yes, that's you. Okay.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I got pulled over, I believe, and they thought I was under the influence of something, and they had me tested, and I was convicted of an OWI.
Okay. So were you in addiction? It sounds like it was a substance that wasn't alcohol. Just trying to understand if you've moved past that or what.
Definitely have moved past that. It was an opiate, and it was a long time ago, and I've moved past that.
Okay. And then you've got 2017, a couple of operating well revokes. That's arising out of the same incident.
That was the problem with that was I couldn't get all the paperwork from Dodge County, so I couldn't get my temporary driver's license, but I had to get back and forth to work.
Yeah.
So it took me months before I could get all the paperwork to get the driver's license.
Okay, understood. And then in 2018, that looks like kind of the last one here. There was an accident. Were you under the influence at that time too?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That's it for me. Any other questions from the board? No. All right. Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Appreciate your time and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Montreal Washington is our next applicant. Mr. Washington.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Your video is not working quite yet, but we can hear you.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
All right. Good afternoon, board members. Montreal Washington. I'm looking for a pardon for two felonies. One was possession with intent to deliver THC lesser than 200 grams in 2003. I was sentenced to 9 months work release. I completed that sentence with no problems, passed all urine samples, and came back to the jail on time after for work or passes. I was again charged 5 years later in 2008 with possession with intent to deliver THC greater than 200 grams. This time, I was sentenced to 6 months straight time in house correction and 3 years probation with 5-year stay sentence, along with a requirement to complete AODA classes. I completed the classes while I was in a house correction, finished the 6 months with no problems. After I was released, I completed my probation in 2011 with no problems. Since my last sentence was completed, although it was challenging, I did eventually get hired at Pace Industries. I had a job at Walmart in 2012 for a short period. But I got hired at Pace Industries in 2013 in Grafton. And in 2014, I acquired a job at the United States Postal Service as a mailman for 5 years. During this time, I started my entrepreneurship as the owner of the Worst Detailing, car washing detailing, which I've been doing since then. I have a A+ with the Better Business Bureau. During the summers, I have given jobs to young teens that I've seen going down the same path that I went down to keep them from negativity and to make an honest dollar. I haven't been in any trouble or had any law enforcement contacts pertaining to any crimes or any wrongdoing since my last charge 18 years ago. I completed both sentences with no problems. And at 47 years old, I'm a different man with a different mindset I had in my 20s, with no temptations to do any crimes at all. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I have got support from the judge and the district attorney for a pardon. And with that being said, I'll be grateful if the pardon board will consider me for a pardon also.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. Questions from the board? Cindy.
Yep, good afternoon, Mr. Washington. So as part of the application process, applicants are encouraged to submit letters of support for their application, and you chose not to submit any. Can you tell us why not?
I didn't know that. I thought the letters was to the county clerk and the DA. So I wrote them letters. I can't remember if I saw like, you know, from any other people, but I did write letters to the county clerk and district attorney.
Right, we have those, but this is separate. This is letters that people send in from family or business associates, neighbors. It helps us get a perspective of what kind of person you are today.
Yes.
But okay, you've answered it. Thank you.
All right.
Judge Gremmers.
Good afternoon, sir. Were you convicted or adjudicated of a felony in 1995 involving possession with intent to deliver?
Yes, when I was 16.
Okay, so it was in juvenile court?
Yes.
Okay, so you understand that if the governor were to grant your pardon for the two marijuana cases you are applying for here, that doesn't change your felony adjudication from juvenile court.
Correct. I found that out last week when I looked into it, so I'm gonna go file for expungement for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but until that happens, for example, the prohibition against possessing a firearm would still be in place, even if the governor were to grant a pardon on these adult felonies.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Okay. If you have any questions about that, you should talk to a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Other questions from the board? Mr. Washington, just more from me. It looks like in 2001, there was a temporary restraining order entered against you. Can you tell us a little bit about what was happening there?
Yeah, that was my son's mother. It was a little problem. It was no violence, nothing. She just went down there. Kids, mothers, they try to make it tough on you, but there was nothing behind that. Like I didn't touch her. I didn't damage any property or anything like that, and that just went away. Like it went no further than the temporary restraining order.
Oh, well, it does look like it was granted for 2 years. Do you mean it went away at the end of 2 years?
Yes. I never after I went to court for it, I never even heard nothing about it, and have no problems with her or anything since that happened.
Okay. And then it looks like in 1997, so a little bit before that, but perhaps the same person was involved. You had a felony false imprisonment charge that was dismissed, and you're convicted of that. But could you tell us what happened there?
Yep. That was just a fight. That was just a fight, and I had one of my older friends that came. I was young at the time. He came to get me because he said somebody stole his rims, and the guy was my same age, so he came and got me to fight the guy, and he went down there and said all that stuff, and that's why I got dismissed with I think with our prejudice or something like that. I can't really remember, it so long ago.
Yeah, that's okay. I think I understand.
Yeah.
And then just the last one, it looks like in 2007, it was a misdemeanor charge for failure to support. Do you have child support outstanding or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm paying. I'm still paying on it now.
Okay, and do you know about how much you owe?
It shows difference, but I think about 14,000 or something like that.
Okay. And are you on like a monthly payment plan for that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions from the board? All right. Thank you, Mr. Washington. That covers it for us. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Christopher Slack is our next applicant. Mr. Slack. Okay, we have someone in the Zoom that is just an unlabeled Samsung phone. Mr. Slack, is that you?
I thought that was.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you able to see me?
Not yet. We'll try prompting you to turn on your video. Okay, now we can see Mr. Slack. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, board members. I'd also like to thank you for this consideration. As you probably know, Governor Evers' predecessor didn't hold any pardon hearings, so we do appreciate it. I had a felony in 2012 for possession of cannabis. Second offense is automatically a felony in Wisconsin. It's not something I'm proud of. I just grew up in a broken home, divorced parents at 12. They shipped me back and forth, and I ended up falling in with the wrong crowd. And it is what it is. I don't try to minimize what I did. I did have it. I did possess it. I did use it. And that's the charge that I'm trying to get a pardon for. That, along with, I believe there's a violating a restraining order charge that I would also like pardoned if that's applicable. I'm not sure if that wasn't a felony. It's just something that's on my record that I would like to see off my record, just given the circumstances. Since my conviction, I was sentenced to 30 days in jail, which I did. They let me do that at home. That was almost the most embarrassing part, because during that 30 days, my first daughter was born. And there's nothing more embarrassing than being at the birth, given special permission to be there, but being there with an ankle monitor on, and then 10 minutes after I hold her for the first time, I have to report to home because that's where I'm supposed to be, leaving my wife at the hospital. That was very embarrassing. Since my conviction, I think I did a couple years probation. I was released early from that. Since then, in 2014, I got sick. I got cancer. It was called synovial sarcoma, and I had a portion of my quad muscle removed. As you probably know, with any kind of cancer surgery, they do wide excisions. So they took a lot of bits of the surrounding tissue. That disabled me for a number of years, but it was a blessing in disguise because I got to stay home with my children while my wife pursued a career in law enforcement. Since then, she had a career in law enforcement down here in Missouri, and she had said that she would rather be home with the children because we have since had 3 more children, so a total of 4 children. She wanted to come home and do the homestead farming, homeschool type thing, and I went back to school and I got my CDL. Since then, I now work at Highland Dairy. I'm also a proud union member. I have since started a men's group. It's a group of us guys that do our own kind of Bible study. It helps us be better husbands and better fathers. One thing I'm would hate is to have my children go through the same substance abuse that I went through. As you guys probably know, cannabis 20 years ago is not the cannabis of today. I mean, it does have its medical uses, but it's very strong stuff. It's not something I use anymore. It's not something I would have my kids experiment with. That's for sure. Since this conviction, I have had no criminal past since then. I work, and I have way too many people depending on me now. So I spent some time over the road trucking, and now I was blessed to have a local job to where I can be home every day and be with my kids. Getting this pardon would greatly improve my situation. If my wife ever wanted to return to work after she receives a biology or forestry degree, she wanted to go into DNR work, and that's something that would be difficult for her to do with her husband's past charges. Also, if I were to have these charges pardoned, I would be able to further my career by getting a hazmat and getting just better employment in general. That being said, I again thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Slack. Before we open up to questions, I want to address the question that you asked about your the violation of the restraining order charge. So that's not eligible for a pardon by this board because it is a separate misdemeanor. But I do think we have some questions for you about it. Could you tell us a little bit? I see that was in 2005. There was also another disorderly conduct that looks like it was domestic abuse related in 2005. So maybe those are related, but can you tell us a little bit about what was going on in that case?
Sure. It was a relationship with a young woman in I believe it was my 20s. It was a very passionate but very toxic relationship. I had no children at the time. She had 3 small children. I was never violent with her. I just had disagreements on how she should treat her children. She wasn't a very attentive mother, and she was a very jealous person as well. It was just one of those relationships where I tried to break it off. She called the police and said that I did such and such. I didn't. I never abused or harmed her. And she was able to. I guess she went down and filed for a restraining order, unbeknownst to me. I know that they had sent me notices of it, but for some reason or another, I'd never received them. So the restraining order was granted, and that enabled her to be mad at me the next time and then call and say, he's here, he just left. And that wasn't the case. I was at my mother's house. That was like I said, a toxic relationship that ended shortly after those times that those charges were issued. No contact with that person in 20 years or so, but it was just a toxic youthful relationship that I had.
Thank you, Mr. Slack. Other questions from the board? Cindy?
Yeah, I just want to follow on the chair's questions, Mr. Slack. So in your statement about that, you say, she continued to contact me, and when I wouldn't respond, she told the police I came to her house. I did not. But you pled guilty. You pled guilty to the misdemeanor of violating a TRO. So why would you plead guilty if you hadn't committed the crime?
Well, I remember when they arrested me for it, I was at my mother's house and I had the money to just bond out from the Mount Horeb PD. I think I just wanted it over with. As far as realizing that it would be on my record as guilty, I guess I just didn't realize it at the time. My mother was saying, just stay away from her, just stay away from her. And I did. I'm not sure why I didn't put up more of a defense for it. I wish I would have, but I think ultimately I just wanted it over with and I accepted. I either pled no contest to it, but I did accept the charges, yes.
Okay, Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Other questions from the board? Okay, Mr. Slack, that's everything from us. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Rashad, I believe we have you back in the Zoom now. We are ready to hear from you. Mr. Rashad, you look like you're unmuted, but I can't hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
There we go. Yes. Should we try for video here?
Hello?
We can hear you. We're gonna try
Okay.
prompting your video, Mr. Rashad, but if we can't get it working, we'll just do audio only.
Okay, that's fine. So,
There we are.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay. So, I'm asking for a pardon from the governor for crimes that I committed. And the first crime was burglary, party to a crime in 1972, which I received 2 years for. The second was another burglary in 1977, in which I received 5 years in prison for. And the third crime was a 1982 possession of controlled substance of cocaine with intent, which I received 18 months for. What can I say about each of these crimes, with the exception that I should not have done it. Never gotten involved in any of these things. I regret it to this day very much. And like I said, that was some time ago, and things have changed a lot since then. I'm reaching out for a pardon because I think that I've proven as up to now that I'm no longer doing or involved in any criminal activities, have cleaned up my life, and I just feel that at this point in my life, at 73, that I can be pardoned for these things.
Thank you, Mr. Rashad. We'll open it up to questions from the board members. Judge Crummers. Oh, Judge Crummers, you're muted.
What are you speaking?
Sorry, I'm going to ask you a question, Mr. Rashad. Mr.
Yes.
Rashad, I forgot to unmute my computer, but I think I just have one question for you. Were you convicted of something in federal court involving transfer of a stolen vehicle?
Yes, I was.
Was that a felony?
That was a felony, yes.
So you understand that even if you were to get a pardon from the governor on these cases, that federal felony would still be on your record and would carry the same prohibition about firearms, for example?
Yes. I hadn't thought much about it, but with your telling me this, okay, I'm fine with that.
So you understand, because one of the reasons you gave to seek a pardon here is because you want to hunt with a firearm.
Yes.
And that federal felony would still prohibit you from doing that.
Okay. And that came up earlier as I was listening to a couple of other people speak. One other guy mentioned that same circumstances.
Right.
And, he mentioned that he was in the process of getting asking for a pardon for that. So along with that, I never knew that I wasn't aware of the steps that I had to go through in order to get that expunged or pardoned. So yes, thanks for letting me know that, and I will do whatever is necessary to have that taken off my record as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions? Cindy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rashad. So if you were listening, then you probably heard me ask previous applicants, but as part of the process, we ask applicants are encouraged to submit letters of support, and you chose not to submit any. Can you tell us why not?
Well, I guess the main reason is I've always have been rather embarrassed about my past and my situation. And it's just not easy for me to open up to people regarding my past and these crimes. And I heard what you said about it's just so much better, and the chances are so much better if you got support from the community, letters, etc. But those are my reasons. I've just always have felt my past is just, and I'm well aware that there's probably other people whose past is far worse, but with me, I'm just sensitive about that, and I just haven't been able just to open up to people and talk to people about that.
Okay. On a separate note, the district attorney in Milwaukee County who reviewed your application supports your application for a pardon. Now, Governor Evers will make the final decision, but I wonder what that support means to you.
Oh, yeah. It means, just off the top of my head, it makes me feel good to have that support. It also allows me to know that there's something about the court system or the people downtown that's changing. And I really appreciate that, because I've always been on that other side that, especially with these cases, and I just never had a really positive view about the DA and the courts. So with that said, it kind of changes my opinion about that, and I thank that person or the courts for doing that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Rashad. That covers it from us then. We really appreciate your time today and hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you much. Appreciate you.
Thanks. And that was our last applicant of today's session. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to move into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85 sub 1 sub A sub D and sub F for purposes of deliberations concerning specific cases before the board, considering specific applicants, and considering financial, medical, social, and/or personal histories of specific persons. Do I have a motion? Judge Kremers, second by Anthony. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries, and board members will ask for just a moment to get our live stream stopped.